All right, all right, all right. I don't like that I'm at the bottom, but okay, let's see. Forget about that. I'm not seeing you, Miss Tamika. Where are you? Okay, 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 okay. There you go, there you go. Okay, so let's see. All right, all right. I think you went back out again. Mm. Okay, there you go. Let's do this. So we're gonna do that. Not as if we didn't do all of this, behind the scenes. It's like, come on, man, I gotta do this all over again. Okay, yeah, I don't like that. So let's see here if we can just bear with us, people. And I am going to do something here. So is your screen going off because you want it to be off, Tamika, your camera, or is that something
No,
else going
no, I was sharing onto my social media platforms.
on? Okay, yes, yes, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. I think because I dropped off somehow, I'm at the bottom, so I don't really know how to get me back. I'm trying to get that back up because typically you can just drag the frame. That's not working. That's okay. Hey, worry. What are you doing this evening? Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Let's Talk About It with April. Each and every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Tonight we kind of switched it up. Just to be a little more flexible with our guests. We will be discussing friendships this evening. I have Miss Tamika and Sabrina and Raven will be joining us. I'm going to have you introduce yourself, Tamika, if that's okay.
That's fine. My name is Tamika Webb. I am the founder and the owner of Hey Girl, also known as Hey Girl TV, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I am also a founding member of WOVI, Women of Vision and Impact. Please stay tuned for that. We are WOVI.com, WOVI, a women impact cohort for training, for empowerment, and elevation. So if you Irons in the Fire, published author, broken into position on Amazon, um, yeah, that's it.
All right, I love that. Thank you. Yes, yes. Make sure you put all that in the comments. We literally just getting on Raven, so you missed nothing. We just had Tamika introduce herself. Sabrina, introduce yourself, and then Raven, you'll introduce yourself. You probably
Good
want to move your
evening.
phone back, Raven, just so that you get a little space above your head.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sabrina.
All right. Good evening. My name is Sabrina Grimes. I am actually a co-host on the Blueprint podcast with a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Paul Atkins. So we've been friends for probably, I don't know, 25 years now. And just joining him on that venture. I also am a licensed life insurance advisor. So I assist families with life insurance. I have clients all across the DMV. And I'm a mother and grandmother, at best, mother, grandmother, sister, all those things. So I just do what I can to assist the people in the community as much as possible, in all ways that I'm skilled. And I'm definitely blessed to be a part of anything that this sister girl April has going on because I just take it as a blessing just to be invited.
I appreciate you. There's a feedback.
I
I feel
hear
like
that.
it's coming from your end, Sabrina, because I didn't hear it until you started speaking.
I,
I'm gonna
I
try
think I
something
can
real
hear
quick to make
this.
this. Let me just see if I can do this real quick.
Yeah, and I just turned off my social media and all that. So
Okay. Bear with us, people. We just getting this thing together. I done figured out how I can get myself back at the top. So just give it a Raven. I know that thing. So let me take Tamika out and then bring her back in. Okay. Introduce yourself, Queen.
All right. Hi,
It's on you,
everyone. I'm
Raven.
Raven Tate. Can y'all hear me?
You're very low. I can turn you up some. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm Raven Tate, and I am the author of Particle Land, and I'm happy to be here today with you ladies.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
Do I still see?
There's
There's
feedback.
feedback.
Get that.
Get that.
Here, let me get off here. Let's see. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Unmute yourself, Marina.
Yeah, I still
Do you
hear the
guys see
feedback.
any other?
Any
Is
other?
anybody else
Is anybody else
here?
Mm.
Me too.
Me too.
Is it gone?
1, 2, 1,
2, 1,
2.
2.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
okay.
I think it's me.
I think it's me.
You think it's the noise cancellation in the settings? Can you? I mean, I still hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 very much.
very much.
I'm
I'm
actually
actually hearing.
bear with this, people. We can't continue like that. So let me just try one thing. I wonder if it's because of
Because
let me
let me.
do you
Did
guys
you guys
hear
hear
me?
me?
Those
Those
told
told
me.
me.
1, 2,
1,
1,
2,
2.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Technology.
Technology.
1, 2.
1, 2.
It's me.
It's me.
It is
It is
a
a
user
user
error.
error.
Hold on. I need acting people. This is Let's Talk About Education every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I didn't just hear myself. Did you? Did you hear?
Just you, no feedback. No feedback. Oh, okay.
Okay. Trying to get my
Trying
IT
to get
guy
my
up
IT
here.
guy up here.
Cute. So you know
So
what
you know
I'm
what I'm
gonna
gonna
do?
do?
Just
Just let me go.
so even though I'm
So
on
even
mute,
though I'm on mute,
were you guys hearing
were you
something
guys
even as
hearing
I'm
something
on
even
mute?
as I'm on mute?
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, like this.
Just want to make sure we don't hear it. Can you hear it? I thought I just heard. No.
Unmute yourself. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I
I
so
so
apologize.
apologize.
We're all
We're all
dropping
dropping
off
off
because
because
I
I
this.
this.
So we're gonna
So we're
get
gonna
off
get off and
and
those are
hopefully it will work better
better.
because that's
Because
what
that's
they
what they
recommend.
recommend.
Hop off and hop back on.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Mute yourselves. One, two, one, two, one, two.
Yes,
One,
ma'am.
one, two, one, two, one, two.
We're on.
One, two, one, two, one, two. Okay, the live should still be continuing. So if it's already been shared, we shouldn't have to reshare.
Okay.
One, two, one, two, one, two. You can hear me good?
Yes.
No
Yes.
feedback?
No.
No feedback. Hey, Fred, we're gonna help somebody. I better stop playing. Come on. One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. Thank you guys for your patience. I mean, technology, what can we do? You know what I'm saying? We hate it, we love it. Let's see if we can get Raven a second to jump back on. We hadn't started yet, so that's a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no one missed anything. Apologies for how that has transpired. Let's see, back on. Let me just let her know we're back on. Okay. Okay. Let's see, I think she's coming back in. All right, let's dive right in. I don't want to be impatient with her. I think she came in pretty timely. Um, I know this is an inconvenience for all of us and even our viewers. Thank you for your patience. IT still wants me to try something else, but I think we're good. Let's see if anything shifts once this fourth one comes on. Hopefully not. We're going to start off this evening with the topic of friendship, right? We've been promoting. Unmute yourself, Sabrina. You look like you're muted.
Oops, I am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. All right. Now I need more nervous. Technical difficulties. Anyway, so we're going to dive in on friendships, and so me being a person that have friends in so many different walks of life, if you will, I feel like I've had some pretty creative experiences with friendships. And so, in spite of having my own experiences, what I did take the time to do was like really look into it, like from a psychological perspective, like what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? Like what's really underneath the veil of our girlfriend friends, what really takes place, right? And so, before I dive into all of my psychology things that I've learned about it, I just want us to speak freely on not necessarily our overall experiences, but let's start by saying, Tamika, do you feel like you have a group of friends that hers is lagging, but she's trying to get on? Do you have a group of friends that are completely different from one another? Or are you used to that, if not now, at one point in time?
Everyone is the polar opposite in ways, but similar in ways. Like
Okay.
there's a common denominator, something that matches us all together, but different walks of life.
Okay. Okay. What about you, Sabrina? Whether it's now or if it was prior?
I pretty much agree. I think that I'm a common denominator between the friends, right? That there's something about me as an individual because I believe I engage these individuals, right, in relationships and friendships and things like that. So I look at it as what is it about me that either drew them to me or me to them. So I look at myself a lot of times as a common denominator, but I do understand that I do have friend groups that I cannot bring together because there is a different dynamic in each of them, and some of them just don't mesh. And I have to be okay with not being able to engage everybody in one big happy kumbaya circle.
Okay, so that was the first question, Raven. And the question was, do you find yourself, whether it's now or maybe in the past, have a group of friends that are just completely different, like from different walks of life? Do you find yourself in circles like that? Or is everybody pretty much the same? Yeah, I don't hear you. I don't hear you. I turned everyone down. I think that kind of helped with the static, but I don't hear you at all, Raven. Do you guys hear her?
No.
Mm-mm. She might not be able to hear you because her lips aren't moving at all. So I'm not sure she can hear you.
This is our first time on this platform with multiple guests, so we're figuring it out. She's gonna pop out and pop back in and see. We're gonna get through this. We're getting through this tonight. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's stopping this. And so I heard what you said, Serena, right? And so okay, I think this is a really, really good start. Now for me, I've always made it my business to mush everyone together. I didn't care if he was from the streets, if he was an attorney, if he was a police officer. And I'm naming actual real titles of actual friends, right? I'm bringing you all together. Because for me, I kind of felt like that's the problem. That's just how I thought, you know. I feel like that was the problem. You know what I'm saying? That it's almost like, okay, so if we all aren't alike, then we can't gel and we can't get along. If someone appears to have a higher status than another, then they're not going to be comfortable around another. So I felt like it was me trying to show everybody that no, this can work. It doesn't matter. That person actually might be really irritated. That person actually might be a little distasteful. But we're going to make this work. And so I feel like that was something I've always done. I don't think I'm out of that phase because I'm not convinced that that's a problem. Does that make sense? What do you think, Tamika?
I've been in spaces like that. And if everyone's open to it, then it works. But sometimes people are like, no, I don't like you because of how you look. I don't like you because of what energy you're giving off. So it can work, but it could go all the way left.
Okay, so have you actually experienced that, Sabrina? Where you tried to bring them all together and it didn't work?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I definitely can speak from experience. There are some people that you have some friends that are just in that no new friends mindset. Nothing that you can do can change them. They don't even take the time to get to know the other person. It doesn't matter to them. They're looking them up and down, prejudging, sizing them up, and things like that. So if you don't give yourself a chance to even get to know the person genuinely, then there's no hope to connect them as a sisterhood.
And so so do they seem uninterested, or you
Very,
try and you realize this doesn't work?
very. I mean, it's the body language, the comments, and things like that. I can't,
It's
and
interesting.
I think people call me an empath. So even before anything has a chance to go left, I'm already sensing the energy in the room and can tell who's not gelling.
Hmm. Can you hear us good, Raven?
I can hear y'all well. Can y'all hear me now?
Okay, I can. Yeah, we can hear you. So we kind of really still on question one, so you didn't really miss much. I think we kind of just add another layer to it. And so, could you move your phone back some?
Yeah.
So the question was, do you find yourself in circles where um, your circle of friends are complete opposites? Like it's just they're just completely different walks of life. Do you find yourself often in those type of circles?
Absolutely, because that's the way of spirit in the universe. It works like that. You connect with people that are different so that it's about transferring of information. A lot of times you don't need to have people in your life that are on the same frequency, as I say, because again, it's really not much to transfer if we all on the same thing, you know? So yeah, I do.
Really good point. Really good point. So now, so Sabrina has had experiences where she's brought them all together and it didn't work. I find that interesting because I don't recall experiencing it the way she described, where it just didn't work and people are gritting on each other and the energy's all bad. Now I've known people have opinions, strong opinions of other people once we've gotten together, but that's kind of I feel like I've been a quarterback my whole life for my friends, right? And bring them together. And I've never had a situation that didn't work out while we were together. Have you had a situation where you brought all these different spirits together, you know, as you say, and everybody shooting off these different vibes, and it didn't, and it went south?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, but not
Okay.
to a point of no return.
Ooh,
It's
okay.
just that people have to take time and understand other people. And for one, people a lot of times people like to be friends off the break, but you have to. The first friend is I and me. If you
Here we go.
can't master the inner self, you can't be a friend to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to master I and me first.
And so what I'm hearing, Tamika, you correct me if I'm wrong, what it sounds like Raven is saying that for those that it's not working for potentially, probably more internal issues
Right.
versus that woman and what she's saying and how she acts. It probably at least starts there. What do you think? Does it sound like it start there?
Correct. Yeah. It starts within. Yeah, you got to master yourself first before you can take on all these other energies.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
a lot of times when people don't master their inner self, they tend to have issues with other people. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what's your take on that, Tamika? Because you don't even try.
100%.
That's what I get from you. That you don't even try, right? Okay.
No.
Okay. So what's your take on that? This is
I'm not.
interesting. I love this already. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. I truly feel that your vibe attracts your tribe. And for me, everyone that I know, we have something in common. So it always works well when we're together. But Raven, fantastic point. I feel like if a person is unhealed, if a person that's healed is around them, it will piss off what is still jumping up and down on the inside of them. It can't live, it can't thrive, it can't be happy in that space. And it's like, it's something about you. And it's, you have what I need, you have what I want, and I can't quite get there. And I'm jealous of that, but I have no language, I have no acknowledgement for that right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So look, okay, I got to intervene right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn this down a tad. I heard a slight um, feedback, and so okay. So again, I'm gonna call myself the quarterback of my circles most times, right? And so what I have found, what happens, and I feel like it's an amazing benefit. Typically, what happens when I bring everybody together, they end up friends beyond our friendship. So for an example, I bring you all together, right? We all hanging out or whatever, whether we just text buddies, whatever we are. I find that if somehow Tamika and I fall off, Sabrina and Tamika still be friends. Or if Sabrina and I fall off, you know what I'm saying? Raven and Sabrina, that's what I found to happen. I found that somehow, oh boy, I'm gonna try not to preach this even, but I feel it. And so I felt like somehow it's like, okay, you've done your part, go along. You know what I'm saying? Like, you brought them together, now go on about your business, you know, let them have their thing. And so I found that to happen over any other outcome of bringing people together. That's typically the outcome I get. I don't get the people coming together and it ain't working and the energies are off and we can't even eat dinner because so and so. I have not experienced that as of yet. What I experienced is everything is fun, everybody's grateful, everybody's excited. People are connecting with other energies, right? They're getting encouragement from someone that they need to meet them where they are. And then when April assignment is up, I go on and then they carry on with their relationship. And I'm never offended by it. Like, honestly, I'm not. People within, do you know so-and-so still talking to so? Cool, that's good. That's what's up. I'm glad I was able to connect them. And so it's interesting for me to hear everyone's experience because I haven't had that. I think I'm really more so in the space where Raven is with it, understanding the importance of bringing in different people from different. We will learn so much from each other by being different. My biggest thing is if you like me, I ain't gonna say we can't get along because we can, right? However, how much more can I learn from someone just like me? I can't even go to you with certain things because I know you're gonna side with me. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the same perspective. You know what I'm saying? We got the same history. We got the same backstory. So you're probably much more understanding of my BS. Let's take it there. You know what I'm saying? Versus someone that comes from a different background. She may have a different perspective. And so if I'm around a bunch of people that came from the same place, think the same way, I'm not growing. I'm not challenged. You know what I'm saying? So yes, I think that's really good. So Sabrina, so let's we we live, so we're not, we ain't gonna name no names that we just started. But
I definitely had points to what you were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I'm similar to you. Like I would love to bring everybody together. I love connecting people. I love networking. I love doing all that. But my experience has been that there are some people who take ownership of individual people. So if I met you through this person and I don't talk to that person anymore, then you're not supposed to talk to that person. Or how are you friends with this person outside of me when I'm the person that brought you guys together? And I'm just like, well, we not property. We ain't slaves any longer. Last I checked, I wasn't.
And we ain't 12.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So it's really, you guys talk about vibrations and we talked about healing and we talk about all these things, but we have to get to that point. People have to get, and we don't all arrive there at the same time. My level of understanding and maturity is not equal to the sum of some of the people that I'm around. Yes, we have similar backgrounds, we have similar experiences, but our growth journey is 1,000% different. Some women are still living in that I'm 15, I own people, you can't be friends with that person if I ain't friends with that person. If I don't talk to them, you don't talk to them. If I block them, you block them, and all. Like I experienced that recently. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking I'm 53 years old And is that what we're doing? Like, we still do that kind of stuff? And I'm like, yeah, women are still doing that to this day. And it confuses me, and it burns my soul to even think about it. But that's the experience, and that's how some women still are. But that's because they're not reading, they're not engaging in self-development, personal development. They talk so much but listen little. Talk so much and listen little. So they're never going to be open enough to be able to grow because they don't listen and they don't absorb outside of their box.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's like you holding on to something, Tamika. What you got?
I mean, that's good. That was a good one. I heard a quote recently. I think it says, "Knowledge speaks, wisdom listens." You have to be quiet and listen, not listen to respond, but listen to hear, to understand, to reframe, to digest, then speak. And I mean, you're right.
Go ahead, Ray. You sitting on something? What?
I was going to say that a lot of people don't like themselves, so they can't stand to be around themselves. So that's why they become possessive of other people. They need people around them.
Possessive.
That's good.
Y'all getting deep. We ain't even 15 minutes into this. Possessive. Okay, so this is a great place. Okay. So are we more possessive of our friendships than we are our romances?
I'm definitely not.
We're speaking general. We don't even have to speak just as an individual person. Do you feel that us as women are more possessive of each other than we are of our romance partners?
I believe that's a possibility. Thinking.
I believe so.
Yeah.
And that's just come to me. That ain't even in my notes. I believe we do become more possessive of one another than our, and I'll just speak as to why I believe that to be true. I think so. It's almost like us as friends, female friends. There's a language for, let's call it a culture alignment, if you will. I think us as females, we have a sense of culture alignment where it's one thing to meet a guy and you can have things that you are similar with, right? Similar background, you kind of like the same things. Like, that's different from someone that understands. Like, you're a woman, I'm a woman. It's not even about understanding, you live it. You see what I'm saying? So I think that cultural alignment is what I feel like I want to call it. I think that makes us treasure loyalty a little more stronger than with the man. It's almost like I feel like we even trust each other more than we trust our romance partners. And I think it's because it's almost like we are one and the same. Like, you get it. I don't have to, I got to convince him to get it sometimes, right? Sometimes I don't feel like I have to really convince my friend to get it because she gets it. She walks in this feminine energy. She understands, you know what I'm saying, how we can get with our mood swings and things like that. So that's why I believe that we are a little more possessive over our female friends than we are our romances. What do you think, Tamika?
I used to be that way. And 100%, that's my friend. I'm not bringing you around anybody because you're my person and I don't want y'all linking up. I don't want y'all talking without me. And I think possessive, yes, but I think it was also codependency in me that is healed, that is now okay with it. And I'm like, you're my girl, but my friends connect without me all the time now. And that's okay because we are still friends. But I think it was definitely codependency and not really knowing and loving and valuing myself first and being okay with me without someone else present.
Yeah.
So I heard insecurities. What do you think, Sabrina?
I think that it goes to there's a little bit of validation because I just referring back to the words that you use to describe kind of what we were going to talk about is a person's need for validation, in a sense. In our sister circle, sometimes we look to for validation, or we did look to validation until that growth spurt happened, right? I no longer need you to validate who I am because I understand and know who God created me to be. So I don't need your approval, and that's what was occurring sometimes in some of these friendships is we're looking for you to validate, we're looking for you to approve, because I was telling some of my girlfriends today, the relationship that I'm in today, and I told him the relationship that I'm in today, I probably would not be in if I was still friends with certain people, because I was looking for them to accept what I had going on, to validate that it was okay to move forward in this direction. Your opinion mattered to me, but God had to say, you know what? These are the things that have to happen in order to terminate that situation, or you'll stay stuck here and you'll fail to grow in other areas of your life and experience other areas of your life because you're tied to this need for sisterhood, friendship, validation, all these things that were tied into these relationships with some of these people. And I had to allow myself to let go in order to grow and release, in order to know, you know what, you are okay by yourself. You are okay, like, without validation from women and telling you that, this is good or that's good. Some people giving me opinions in shoes that they've never walked.
Right.
Like, you can't even talk to me about some things that you're talking to me about because you never walked it. And I've walked it, and I'm sitting here listening to somebody who never walked it and taking their opinion like it's Bible, because I valued that person as a friend, right? And I respected that person as a friend, and I respected their input. But a lot of times people were showing me that, you know what, that person's not really a friend to you. That's more control. So they're giving you that input. They're saying these things because they realize they have a level of control over you. So when I really realized that it was more so control over than friendship, then there were things in dynamics that I had to change. So I tell people all the time, I'm so loyal until I'm not. I'm so super loyal until I'm not. When I see that there are discrepancies, when I see that there's an imbalance, then I pull away, no matter what it is. When I see that something's not going right, I pull away. And that's just how I'm wired. And I can't be in, it's like a discernment. It's like, you know what, I've given you a little bit too much. Some people say that person is more of a friend to you. Or I told a girl the other day, I said people will not match my level of giving, and that's okay, because I am such a giver. I don't expect you to do the same things for me that I do for you, because I have this different kind of giving spirit. Do I want to know that you appreciate me as your friend? Absolutely, I want to know that you appreciate my friendship, but I know that the things that I do for you will never match what you do for me, because we're different on those levels. I'm a different type of friend. I'm a different type of person. It just is what it is.
But then you also got to know, and I'm sure you're aware of it, is that it's not even just that you won't. Some people can't. Some people can't be there for you the way that you are for them. They're not. That's not even their position. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like trying to borrow money or trying to give some type of marital advice to someone that's not married, that's financially strapped. Like, they can't reciprocate that, right? So what you think about that, Raven?
Oh, I agree with the ladies. I think they did a great job of touching on that point.
And so now, so with that being said, so if we feel that we could be a little more, what's the word, possessive over one another than we are in our romance relationships, do you think that's why we're quicker to cut them off than we are our male counterparts? Or if you even agree with that at all. You might
I
even
would
agree
think
with
that
it.
it was the
I feel like we're
opposite.
so much more forgiving of our male counterparts than we are to our friends. That's just April's opinion.
I agree. I agree. But I'm surprised that that's the case. If we're so possessive over our female relationships, our female friendships, then why is it so easy for us to cut off the female versus cutting off the man? If our bond was
Another
so
level to that.
the female friend.
Because it's sexual, I believe, has a lot to go
Ah,
with it.
Okay.
It has a lot to.
soul ties.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Okay. What do you think, Timmy?
I think I have the opposite opinion.
Okay.
Like, yeah, I struggle with letting go of my female friends. Like, um, letting go or moving them into a different layer of my circle, it has grieved me over the years to
Hmm.
do that.
Mm-mm.
Hmm. Y'all got some strong words,
That's
possessive
good.
grief.
I've heard that before.
But I hear you. I hear you. And so okay, so now we got to pull back the layers. And so we all agree that we could be a little more possessive, right? I want to make sure I'm following this. We don't all necessarily agree that we cut off our friends. It's easier to cut off our friends than it is our male counterparts, for regardless of what the reason, whether it's sexual, whether it's whatever it is. So because we don't all, and not that we have to agree on everything, but I'm just going to this deeper level. Um, you say grief, so don't put this on me. I think that we tend to grieve our friends a little more deeper than our male counterparts, and I think that's why we cut them off. I think it's almost like this thing where it's a protective, like it's a defense mechanism. Let me just cut them off before they hurt me anymore. Let me cut them off before they use me anymore. You know, it's almost like we want to do that to prevent it getting worse. And then in doing that, then we grieve the relationship that we once possessed. Come on, Raven, what you got? What are you thinking?
A possibility. I mean, I agree.
I mean, I'm not here to be right. We're here to be right, right? We just
Yeah, I'm
discussing
just
this.
trying to. It's kind of hard for me to answer that because I'm trying to speak in general. Because for me,
Right.
it really doesn't matter. I don't care if you my lover or my friend. I'll cut you off. So it's kind of hard for me to, you know.
It's and to your point, I don't necessarily find, like what Tamika said, I don't find it hard to disengage. Because I don't like the word cut off first. I don't even like that terminology. I don't personally agree with that. Because I think what I personally do is back away. I just stop calling. I realize that's my best method. I let people cut themselves off. I just stop calling. It ain't even a matter of stop answering. I just stop calling. Because typically the relation, like I said, I'm the quarterback, right? So typically I'm running the plays in a relationship for the most, and not in a possessive way. I don't think. You know, you know, and so I just stop calling, and that's my strategy. Once I stop asking how you doing and stop calling, the relationship dissolves. And so, and the reason why I strongly disagree with and don't use the term cut off, I might have used it for tonight for just lack of a better term, is because I feel like I'm always open for reconciliation. And so therefore I try not to make the stance of cutting off. I just back away. You know, I just remove myself.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I don't think that's hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that has been hard for me. That hasn't been a difficult thing, but I understand speaking in general, and because the majority of the rules don't matter what you and I do, right? You know what I'm saying? We're speaking from the majority of the women's experiences. I think what Tamika is saying is true. I think the majority of us have a heart, especially if it's a relationship that we were possessive of one, but more so when we felt there was a strong sense of loyalty. Because I think loyalty in our friendships is really, I think that's really the word for the possessiveness and why it's difficult. I think it becomes this strong bond of loyalty that makes all that so difficult. So what you think, Sabrina?
I don't know. I don't know. I use the word cut off because I cut people off. And I could see you walking down the street and no one would ever know that we knew each other. Like no one would ever know that we knew. Like I can look right past you like you're not there.
We gotta
You can
talk
try to
about
make
that
eye
tonight, Sabrina.
contact
We're gonna
with
talk
me.
about it now. We're gonna talk about it. Okay, what
You can
about
try
you,
to make eye
Tamika?
contact with me and all that kind of stuff and try to be in the same area, same place that I am and things like that. But I will actually act like, don't you know so and so? I'm just like,
Okay. Okay, what you doing,
do I?
Tamika?
Look,
You
do I?
walking by like
Did
you ain't
I?
never seen it before?
What you
Tamika,
say?
are you walking by like you ain't never met him before? What's that for you?
I can't do that, but I do cut people off only when absolutely necessary, which means you have hurt me so much to the point where I can forgive you, but in order for me to maintain that forgiveness, I can't be anywhere near you. You have to
Just
cut
remove
me
the
off
access, right? Because essentially that's
completely.
what you're doing when you're cutting off. They no longer have access to your life.
Not at all. But if I pass you in the street, I will, I might smile, I might wave, I'm cordial, grandma from the South, but that as far as that go, I do not reconcile with certain things. If I had to cut you off, there is no possibility of reconciliation because you show me who you are and I believe you. You can
Mhm.
heal, but heal and stay over there.
So
Mhm.
before you answer, Raven, so do you believe, Sabrina and Tamika, that reconciliation doesn't mean that they can now get access? Do you believe the reconciliation means now you have access? Because that's not what I don't, just because I'm ready to reconcile doesn't mean that we're gonna, you know, go back hanging out and
I
texting and
think that I think that reconciling, you're giving that person some level of access where they're able to connect with you some type of way. You're able to, even if it's once every 6 months, you cut them off, but now once every 6 months, y'all can have a conversation. I think there's some level of reconciliation. I can forgive the situation. I can love you like the love of God, but I'm not reconciling because we're not having any conversations. To reconcile to me means at some point we're going to be in the same place in a function or something like that, and we're going to be very cordial. And no, we're not doing that. I'm not reconciling. I don't have any desire to be connected anymore. Once it's done, it's done. Once it's over, it's over. I don't have a desire to reconcile.
Okay.
Depending on the situation.
Ditto.
And
Depending.
that's what I was gonna say. I think it's really case by case, and I think that goes without saying, because I can't say that every single person that have done me wrong we can reconcile. But before I let you jump in, Raven, a lot of times for me, and I'm big on language, right? So I can be using reconcile in a way that somebody else may be using closure,
Mhm.
right? Because there's a coming together to kind of reconcile that difference. I've reconciled and we never hung out again. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's almost like now we can have that conversation 3 years later that you avoided. But that don't mean we're ready to kind of go back and be on those terms. But what you think about it all? Like you see him, you don't know him right when you see him in the streets. It's awkward. You standoffish. What?
It depends on the situation,
Yeah,
and if the
definitely.
situation wasn't really bad, like to the point of no return, I would say hi. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Keep it moving.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta just stay here for a second. And I ain't trying to be right and we ain't hit it. Nobody ever know. I would love on you, and nobody would ever know. Y'all would think we were still the best of friends. Of course, it's case by case. Let me just say this live on that. I got one person that I had a relationship with that I would not engage that way. Other than one person, I don't know any other past relationship. If I see you, no one in that room is gonna know that there was an issue. Unless you being like, I ain't gonna make you hug it. If your energy is all the way off, I'm a follow that. Like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like never desperate type thing. But I think for me, I'm an over communicator. And so because I'm over communicated, anyone that's no longer in my life know exactly why they're not in my life. So
Mhm.
April has closure. You know what I'm saying? So I've explained exactly why. There's no one that I backed away from that I didn't thoroughly explain my position and why you're no longer having access to me. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no one that can say, I don't know what happened. They can say that, but because I can't help but to communicate how I feel. That's just how I'm wired. Like I don't care how degrading, how disrespectful. I'm not sitting on those feelings and then walking away. I'm thoroughly expressing them, and I'm gonna say, God bless you. You know what I'm saying? And you'll never hear from me again. But if I see you in the streets again, you'll be surprised. Nobody will ever know. And that's just how I'm wired. And that's not to say whether I'm right and you're wrong. I think it's just something to think about as to why. Now, again, it's case by case. Like I said, I do know an individual that will not get embraced. I won't be uncomfortable. Most times, I feel like most people are uncomfortable around me if the relationship is no longer what it was. I haven't found myself in a space where I was uncomfortable around them. So, I don't really, I don't know what layer to go to from that. But I just haven't experienced that.
Well, I have two situations, one where I was the offender and one where I was offended. In neither one of those situations, I have a desire to communicate. And me in the streets, no one will know that I don't talk to those people or that person, because I'm not one that says, oh, well, because if somebody says, where's so and so, and I'll be like, oh, I don't know, maybe they're at home. I don't know. You haven't talked to them? I don't say, oh, I don't mess with that person no more, or I don't F with that person. I don't, but that's what they'll say about me. So that's why if you're gonna address me like that, if you're gonna talk about me in the streets that way, you can't just let the situation die. Then there's no way that we ever can have a conversation or even think about reconnecting in any way, shape, or form, even if it's minimal, even if it's just to be cordial. I can't, especially if somebody is trying to slander my name in the streets. That's dead. Like, that's dead. No matter what happened, that's dead. Because we got to be grown enough to be able to say, okay, if it just like a man, if it don't work, it don't work. You're just gonna walk away, go your separate ways. You don't have to bash and slander and make a point to tell people that this happened or that. It's none of their business. For what? It's none of their business. Whatever happened between us happened between us. Now, I do have a girlfriend who we fell out in like high school, and we were best friends from middle school to high school, and we fell out. We reconnected. We rekindled our friendship.
Why were you open to reconciling with her?
It was, I think we ended up in the same places, and her spirit was just different. Her spirit, she has a different spirit. So I always.
So if they have a different spirit, you probably are open to reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
If you
yeah,
know
so
this
definitely it's this Raven talked about the internal person, the energy, the vibration, and all that. Her vibration was way different than some of these other people. She has a peace, and there was just nothing malicious about her or anything that was done when it came to her. It was not malicious.
So it sounds like it's really more so based on if they've developed, if they've done some internal work, right? Then maybe you are. It's not just, walk away, never ever. It sounds like it's more so if you're in a different space and you've grown and there's some self-development, then I could potentially be open for that. Okay. So let's go here. So do you think that people minimize girlfriend relationship breakups before they will to romance? I feel like girlfriend breakups is always hate. It's like, it is not always hate. It's like we don't even know. It's like there's no term we use. There's no mature term we use when we no longer have a friendship with another female. It's like it's always just jealousy or hate. But if it's a romance, oh, she cheated, he cheated, like we have all these more mature ways of explaining why this romance didn't work. But with friendships, girlfriends, it's almost like it's always jealousy or hate. And it's like, that's not always the case. It's almost like we don't know how to maturely explain it. And I think it's because it's minimized.
Right. I agree.
What do you think, Raymond?
Yeah, I agree.
Almost like it's brushed off too. I don't even think people really give it a lot of thought. Like, oh, y'all hang out no more? Oh, cool. Next question. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even. But if it's a guy, what happened? Oh my God, y'all seem so perfect together. But if it's a girlfriend, I don't feel like people really give it a lot of energy or attention. It's almost like, oh, you know how she was. I knew y'all were last. Oh well, I can see how y'all. I just don't think that people are. It's almost like there's no sympathy for girlfriend breakups whenever they're brought to others' attention.
And they don't realize it really was like a sisterhood. Like that person, you shared a lot of everything together, and it was like, hey, did I just lose a sibling? And it feels like that for a little while, depending on the situation.
That's that grief.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Ray?
And that's how I look at friendships. I don't even like the word friend, to be honest with you. It's like, you my family, you my sister or my brother. That's how I look at it. Yeah. That word friend, that's just the I don't know. I just don't like that word. I just don't know.
I mean, I think it coincides with what I'm saying. If it's minimized, if it's your sister, come on now, y'all got to get back together. Like if it's viewed as that, I think people are more sympathetic. They'll entertain that dialogue. But if it's friend, it's it's brushed off. Not realize, and these are women too, not just men, specifically women. Actually, we actually are the main person that brushes it off when we realize one of our friends aren't no longer friends with someone, whether we knew them or not. And I think that also contributes to the grieving process, if you will. I think that's what makes it so painful. Like, you don't really have much of a shoulder. You know what I'm saying? When you're, when there's a breakup in your friend, there's really not a circle. Like, you can't call somebody at night. First of all, we don't even want nobody to know you affected me that way. Let's go there. You know what I'm saying? We do got a bit of pride. We don't want nobody to know that you hurt me in that manner. I do think that is worth mentioning. But I think even if there is someone that we do share with, I think it's very much minimized. What you think, Tamika?
I'm the opposite. I do think it's minimized. I had a female friendship that ended. I had to cut it off. It hurt worse than leaving my ex-husband.
Wow.
I grieved that the loss of that sisterhood, that friendship for probably about a year and a half.
Wow.
It's like if something happened, that was my person. This meeting went wrong, girl. I was used to going that route. That was my confidant. That was my bestie. That was my ride dog. So reprogramming myself when I have good things, that's not my person to go celebrate with. When I have bad things, that's not my person to call first because she gets it. She can relate to me best. If I'm going to go buy something, I see something new, send her a quick text. I can't do that anymore. So I'm reprogramming how I do life, who my go-tos are, who my support system is, and it revealed that codependency. I'm like, was I too close? Like, what was that? Like, was that my crutch? Was it like part of me? So, reframing everything and really being introspective, I was forced to do those things in the absence of that friendship. So, when people say I cut that friend off, oh, she was a hater, she was whatever, in my mind, I hear that wasn't really your friend. That was a person for a purpose. That wasn't a true friendship.
What you think, Raven?
I was thinking when you said that, and that's why a lot of people probably do minimize it because they know some things that you don't know. Like you may have been thinking that was your friend the whole time, and they may have said things behind your back or something that other people know.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why they probably minimize it. Like was never your friend to begin with.
That's a good point. They knew, but you didn't, and so
Yeah.
that's why they don't really have much. What do you think, Sabrina?
I agree. I believe that because in my personal situation, someone actually told me, they say, yeah, that person's you're more of a friend to that person than they are to you. And you just have to open your eyes and be able to realize it. But you wouldn't have been able to tell me that. But they heard things that I didn't. They heard things that I never would have heard. You know what I'm saying? Because they were saying them to other people about me. And I would have never been the wiser to that because I'm not somebody that gets messy. I don't listen to hearsay and all that kind of stuff. But as a relationship terminated, and I'm gonna tell you, she called herself cutting me off or whatever. But then I find out all of these other things that were said in a lot of spaces, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, then that was all for the better. Sometimes, and I like that Tamika used the word you talked about. That person's purpose was served. The season for that relationship is over, and I understand that other things that have opened up in my life would not have happened if I continued that relationship because that relationship kept me in a little box. Once that was released, there are so many blessings that came my way after that relationship was released. And I'm not going to say it was the person, but the situation and the tie to that person had to be cut. And that was like a pruning season in my life. Just like they say, I think I made a post about it. We got to be okay when things and people are removed from our lives because they're removed for a purpose. Like that time in your life is over. Now it's time for you to grow. You can't grow if the weeds and stuff are still growing and choking the life out of these things that are happening because now you're stressed out. Now you're unhappy. These things got to be pruned away and you got to cut that stuff and cut them dead leaves off in order for you to see the blessings that are really on the horizon for you. But I would have never experienced or been connected to those other things if I stayed at that place. So I'm thankful and grateful. Do I miss it sometimes? Yeah, you miss it because people remind you, Dad, where's that person? Where's that person? I'm like, oh, okay. But I was still now able to reconnect to people that I had long-standing friendships with for 20, 25, 30 years that I reconnected with that I never would have reconnected with if I was still in that
Still
friendship.
in that, right. And so I'm gonna use this term, um, people we throw around as females specifically. I outgrew them. I outgrew them. And so, but I'm more inclined to. I've grown to now understand that I outgrow certain versions of myself. And
Mm-hmm.
when I outgrow a certain version of myself, that alone is going to leave no room for certain people because I'm no longer, you know what I'm saying? I've elevated. And because I've elevated, whether it's spiritually, physically, financially, whatever that level of elevation was, it has now removed space to make space, if you will. And so I feel that I have a habit of overstaying, right? I feel like I'm assignment driven, right? Like I get it, I get the assignment. And when the season's up, all the lights are going off saying, season up, make it right, buck of you. And I'm like, no, because there's more I can do. And there's another level of example I can be. And so I tend to overstay. And so even through the level, as you mentioned, the level of pruning, and when I shedded the skin, right, and I've outgrown that version of me, I want to say, come on, man, it's gonna be amazing up here. If you think this was great, wait till we level up. And that's something I feel like that is, I don't want to say my weakness, but I feel like that's an area I struggle at. I want everybody to come up with me. It could be clear as day that no, that it was only for row H. Leave them at row H. It's like, no, come on, you got to come with me. This is going to be amazing. And I think sometimes I want more for people than they want for themselves. And I think that's why I struggle in that area.
Yeah.
Mhm. That's good. Yeah. What's it called? Survivor's guilt or survivor's
Survivor's remorse.
remorse? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait, if I go up, you're supposed to go up too. But I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. And on top of that, this is my door. This is not our door. This is my door. That's why this isn't working anymore because you aren't
Right.
supposed to be here. And on top of that, like MC Hammer, I'm trying to bring everybody along. You can bankrupt me if I don't let you go. I got to put that dead weight down.
Yeah. Everybody's not meant to go.
If you lying to me, I gotta be reminded every 5 years. I said, okay, God dang it, I was trying to take it with me, but
Yeah,
okay.
everyone's
All
not vibrating on the same level.
right.
We're on different vibrations.
And
It
it'd be
would be
clear as
nice
day.
if we were all harmonized, but this realm
Mm-hmm.
is not.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a major struggle for me.
Yeah.
And so
Mhm.
let's talk about survivor's remorse, right? First off, let's peek at standards before we dive into survivor's remorse. So, do you feel? And I love it. How does the song go, Raven? It says, "Do they love you because you've been official, or because you're beneficial?" Bars. Oh my God. Look, somebody to preach that. That's a word. Do they love you because you've beneficial? You've always beneficial. You've always been neutral. You've always been a go-to. Or do they love you because of what they can get from you? And so I put that in the category of standards. So some people, and I think you might have said it earlier, Sabrina, where you become, and again, that falls right in that category, which I am accountable for, where I'm a great friend to people that actually aren't friends to me. Because it's almost like I may meet a certain standard in their life. Forget what my standard is and my goals and my expectations. I might be in a certain space in my life where they can benefit from.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, that's why they want to continue to maintain that relationship. And sometimes I blind myself intentionally. You know, it's like, I don't know. I could be this is so fun line or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be knowing a lot of times, and I'll still go along for the ride. You know, because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I'm doing my purpose. Survivor's
Right.
remorse. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, I mean, they've been riding with me, so they got to come along for the next level of elevation. So what you think about that, Tamika?
I mean, story of my life for a couple of years. I think I was trying to avoid that. She thinks she's too good to be around us anymore. Who does she think she is? You know, she got that job, she got that blah blah blah. She's accomplished. So I'm going to deal with the hate I know. I know you're talking about me. I know y'all having a phone call after our phone call to, blah blah blah. I see you eyeballing me, but it takes for me to get tired, for me to get to the point where it's like, okay, either you have hurt, or this is so detrimental to where I'm going, I have no choice. It's hard to let go. And like growth hurts, those growing pains, you have to let go of people. It just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, what you think, Sabrina? What's your experience like with that? Do you think you go through survivor's remorse? Do you find yourself being beneficial to people in your life, and that's why that relationship exists?
I believe so, because I'm the one that shows up for everything and everyone all the time. I could be like, somebody could call me and say, "Hey, my pipe bust or my such and such. Can you? I'm on the way. Like, I want to go such and such. Are you free? Sure. Come get me." Or I'm always that friend that's up for anything, almost anything. I'll show
Oh,
up for. I support everyone. You selling a Tic Tac, I'm buying a Tic Tac. You want me to show up for your presentation, I'm showing up for you. Like, that's the type of friend that I am. And then I'll share everyone's whatever you're doing, whatever experience is, I'll share it because I love to connect people. So I'm like, oh, you do this, let me connect you with this person. Oh, you do this, let me connect. I even had a friend. It's funny, we friends for years and years and years. We used to work out together, do all these things together. But I had another friend who was now working out because I stopped working out. I stopped going to runs. I stopped doing those things. But I have another friend who does the same things as you. Let me connect you guys because you running marathons. Hey, she running marathons. You guys will be great friends, great connections because you have this common thread that you guys like to do that. I don't like to do it. But do I believe that the friendship was lost because I connected those people? No, I was supposed to connect you guys. I was the conduit. I was the person that brought you guys together. And now you guys created a great friendship because you had that common thread of working out and doing those things. Um,
and so you were mutually beneficial to both of them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. They definitely have a great bond to today. They have a great bond. They still do things together. They do family things together and all that kind of stuff. And I don't have anything to do with it. And I don't care. I'm not mad about it. I'm not because my job was to connect two people
Connect them.
that had like situations. And I've never been that possessive type friend, but I just draw people who have that possessive spirit. And I don't know if it's because and some I heard somebody say this many, many times. Some people hate the fact that other people love you so much.
Hmm.
Some people can't stand the fact that other people love you so much. And I think I'm so cool as a fan. I I'm just so cool as a fan. And sometimes people just can't handle people that's so cool as a fan. I don't one way or another. I could care less. I don't have any apprehension about anything. I can listen to something one time, try something one time, or whatever. I'm so easygoing, and I'm such a friendly person to people until they show me that I shouldn't give them that amount of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
effort. But I'm that way. I gotta try it first, and I gotta get my hand burned. I give everybody an opportunity. I give everybody a chance. Everybody in my circle ain't like that. They shut you down at the door, and I'm just like, well, what happened? What they do? Why you do that? You ain't even give a shit. They seem like a nice person to me, but they don't want to be bothered. But the energy that I give off, people be like, I like being around you. I like having a conversation with you. I like the way
Well,
that you.
but
I
so there's
like.
a saying with the same thing that they love about you, they end up eventually hating about you.
Mhm.
It can evolve into that. It can
Yeah.
evolve into that.
But
So
then
what
is
you
it
think,
the
Raven?
hate? Is it the jealousy? Is it like then what does that morph into? Is it envy? Is it like then we got these other words that we call it?
See, I think, and I'm gonna bring you in, Raven. I personally think that when you have something that someone wants or wish they had, I don't think it immediately turns into envy. or instantly becomes jealousy. It could become, it's attractive, right? When you're neutral and you have a good spirit, and you have a mindset that will you bring people together or whatever that dynamic is, it's attractive. So some people see that and actually admire it, but because of their level of insecurities or immaturity, they don't know what to do with it, right? So as opposed to saying, you inspire me, they might give you the side. They're not used to saying that to people. They're not used to expressing, you know what I'm saying, their vulnerability. So I don't think that it automatically, that's why I can't stand women saying somebody jealous and somebody envious. And I'm not saying it's not true. I just think it's a very immature way of describing it, because it's got to be something else, or should I say it was something else before it became that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So so let me ask you, so do you feel like you struggle with survivor's remorse, or do you feel like you end up surrounding yourself with people that are in your life because they benefit from you?
You speaking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that because that's the way the divine creator works. You may need something that I could give you, what I'm there for. So I don't mind that.
Why do you have to say that? Okay, so we've been real, right? And so I lived on that edge, I feel like, ever, right? And I'm speaking in past tense, okay? So just bear with me. I feel like that's been my thing. Like, I get it. It's my purpose. I'm here to be that to them. They're not here to be that to me, right? So I kind of, it's almost like I signed up for being friends with people that aren't friends to me. I signed up for being the beneficiary of your life. Like, I signed the dotted line. I read all the fine print. I get it, right? But I think as time progressed, I think I've always expected a me at some point to balance it out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that because I didn't have accountability, because I didn't have balance, right? And because you can still be beneficial to people and be okay with it, but you still have to have balance,
Sure.
right? And because I lost balance repeatedly along the way, I then begin to digress and move different. Not allowing myself to be used, because I don't think that's something that I can help. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's something I can ever do, is stop being beneficial, nor do I want to. But I think I've learned how to have balance, and my balance almost looks like I stopped. Like I redacted the contract, if you will. You know what I'm saying? But it's not, I'm just balanced. Like, I still get it. I still understand it. Okay. I said to him about 3 months ago, right? And I don't know from Canada Bank, she don't know me. And she reached out, and it's something about the spirit that 5 minutes in, you feel like you've been knowing me for years. And she's like, oh my God, it's like been knowing you forever. I just saw it. I said, but you know what? It's so cool, because after this conversation, you'll probably never hear from me again. But it's okay, because I understood what she was calling for information. You see what I'm saying? I understood that she needed something. And I understood, and that's what I said. And she was like, oh, I said, no, that was really for me. I was just speaking out loud. That's something I gotta remind myself, that this could not, forget a season, a moment. How about that? Y'all talking about seasonal friends. Sometimes you're in somebody's life for a moment, for an encounter. You know what I'm saying? And so again, as I said, I overstay, right? Season 3 been up, but I want to bring you into season 4. So for me, I had to realize I'm lacking balance. And when I lack balance, I then equate me being beneficial, and I take it personal, if that makes any sense. And because now I've gotten a handle on it, for people that know me, it almost looks like I'm no longer that person, but I very much am. I'm just balanced now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just understanding. I have to constantly remind myself, okay, day 3 texts, don't put them in the front row, April, because you've been talking for 3, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't take them to the VIP, April, just because y'all vibing. Because I'm telling you, coming in the front seat, you know what I'm saying? Like, right away, because I'm really big on energy. And I try not to, I don't think I really even buy into the concept of time with people. You know what I'm saying? So that's how sometimes the seasonal aspect of it is blurred for me, if that makes sense. Because I'm not looking into how much time is this relationship going to last. It's like, no, I'm in it. I'm a vibe until the vibe gone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's just kind of how I look at it. But I want to go here with that being said. So some of us feel like there's a bit survivor's remorse. We understand that we're in some people's lives because they benefit from us and it's not reciprocating. I think we've grown to be okay with that. Is that fair? Are we kind of mutually there, Sabrina?
Um, depends on, look,
So
everything depends on something. It just depends on how, because some people can suck you dry. And I think there's one relationship that just sucked me
yeah.
totally dry that I had to go ahead and terminate because I was always letting that person come and stay with me when they were down and out, come and stay with me and didn't charge them nothing. You can come stay, whatever's happening, you can stay at my house. Even when I got married, that same person came, stayed at my house when I got married. Something happened in their life. They moved from wherever they were, came back here to the city. They stayed with me. Then I was divorced and they came back and stayed with me again and all that. The last time I had to charge them, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, well,
Mm.
dang, every time something happened and you down and out, you calling me and you, because Sabrina's the one that's going to come through. Sabrina's the one that's going to say yes. Sabrina's the one. And one of my
So you
friends,
said this time you're getting an invoice.
yeah, my friends was like, look, you got to stop being the one to be okay, because that's why that person keep calling you, because you're the only one. That's how people use me as your last resort. If everything else fall through, then call me and we'll talk about it. But this last time it was too much and I charged them. So I guess they were shocked when I charged them. So now
You
they ain't want
changed.
to
You
stay.
changed. Mm-hmm.
Then when they were supposed to pay the next month, they moved. And I'm like, well, what? You didn't tell me you were moving. You didn't say anything. So I felt like that was sneaky because we've known each other since high school, like ninth grade, and you're not going to communicate to me that you're doing something else when you got all your stuff here. I done picked you up at a hotel in the middle of the night, you and your dogs. I done helped you, like I done saved you from a domestic situation. All these things that I've been there for, and you couldn't be okay enough with me or considerate enough to have a conversation. At that point, I had to cut off everything. You can no longer. I pray that your life improves. I really do. But you can no longer use me. You can no longer reach out to me to be able to help. I block them on everything. You can't. So even if something go wrong, you can't even call me
And so
because
this is what I'm
I
hearing.
didn't have
This
the
this is what I'm
discipline to say
hearing.
no. I didn't
This is
have the
what I'm hearing,
discipline.
and I really think it's taking us to this other point too. Because what I'm hearing is, and maybe not this particular person. Okay, so we're not. I think that oftentimes our friends will weaponize their trauma towards us. So it's almost like they'll try to put us on the guilt trip. You know what I'm saying? They justify. So if they out of pocket and we check them, well, you know how my anxiety get, or yeah, my marriage is rocky right now, and I ain't even do, and the way I would like to describe it is they'll weaponize their trauma against us, and I believe that's something that ends up crippling relationships. Because to your point, here I am trying to empathize with your situation. I'm trying to be here for you as a friend, but you're really using your situation to get something out of it that you don't even have to use. You don't even have to use that against me. It's like I'm
Mhm.
here to help you. But I think sometimes that's where the overstaying comes, to your point, where they're gonna keep coming to you, they're gonna keep asking you for money or whatever that resource is you've been for them. And have you experienced, Tamika, where someone has used a situation that they are experiencing in the moment to weaponize or manipulate the relationship
I
in some
have.
aspect?
I have. And I'm sorry, I had like 4 points based on everything that's been said
Go, go,
for a
go. Give you four
while.
points. Go ahead.
Okay, before we change gears, all I hear is opportunists, balance, boundaries, and savior complex.
Hmm.
I
Ooh.
think
You write that down, Sabrina?
Yeah, savior complex, definitely.
I think, some people are opportunists. They use their situations to pull our heartstrings, to play on that empathy, because I know you're going to come and save me. I know when I tell you my sad story, you're going to feel bad. You're going to put yourself in my shoes. You're going to stop, drop, and roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and you become a crutch. You get mad at yourself. Why do you keep doing this to me? Because you keep allowing it.
Hmm.
So the opportunist, the lack of boundaries to say, I don't get out of my bed at 10 p.m. for nobody unless it's my child or my spouse or my parent. Period. Because if I keep doing that, you're going to keep calling. You're going to keep depending. And I'm enabling you. This is your problem, not mine. So opportunities, balance in life, boundaries to say, this is my no-fly zone, as well as savior complex. I'm
I
helping,
call it
but
Captain Save-A-Ho. I'm Captain Save.
that's that's one way to put it. Yes. But going back to your question, I have had people to do that. And I, got on the ride, savior complex, empathizing without boundaries, and mad at myself because they keep doing this to me until I realize I keep doing this to me and I keep allowing it. I am the crutch. I am the enabler. This is my fault. Boundary, get over there and figure it out. I gotta let you fall because when you fall, you're gonna hit and you're gonna feel it. And you might stop, you might not, but that's not my problem. That's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah. What's your take on that, Raven?
Yeah, I agree with the ladies. Again, I will be here to help you, but I'm not a fool, you know? And a lot of times people think that they're manipulating you, but when you are right within yourself, for instance, me, I don't need anything outside of myself. Like, you're not playing me. Like, I see right through you, any, you know? So, um, I lost my thought. I had what I wanted to say, but I lost my thought.
It's okay.
But yeah, again, I'm here to help, but yeah, I'm not a fool, you know. It's a limit to what I would do.
And I agree with that. I don't think that we're totally oblivious to it, Sabrina. I think
Yeah.
we're very much aware. We know that this is the fourth time, the second
Yeah.
apartment, third car, and the fifth cash out request. We're not
It's just the
oblivious.
heart I have. It's just okay. It's the heart I have.
But like Tamika said, we got to be accountable,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that that's something that people that, and you said it earlier, have this generous spirit, like the giver. The giver at some point has to stop blaming everyone for asking and begging, and they got to look at themselves in the mirror and say, well, you keep giving. So now at this point, it ain't their fault, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Because you keep being the enabler. You know what I'm saying? You keep jumping and running to someone's aid that wouldn't walk to yours.
Right. That
And a
part.
person will only do what you allow them to do.
Yes. I'm about to end the
Every
live.
situation.
That was it right there.
Yep.
They can only, and when I tell you that right there, I think that very statement right there, not to get too far into it, but that change just shifted my perspective. Again, I'm still, I can't honestly say that I no longer have survivor's remorse. I'll be lying to say that I no longer have that. But I have put myself intentionally in a space. Oh boy, don't get offended, people. I love you to life. But I have put myself in a space to surround people that I know ain't gonna need me for everything, because they're self-sufficient. They have self-love. You know what I'm saying? They take themselves to these deep dive and ways of understanding who they are and whose they are and what they want. And so I remove myself out of that type of circle so that I don't have to be that for these people. Not that I have a problem if I have to, but I understand the core friends I have now, I know where they are in life. And I ain't pick them out. You know what I'm saying? It was drawn. It was divine. It ain't something I was, keeping notes. Say, okay, she seems to be. No, it's something that was drawn, which is how I know it's bigger than me. It wasn't a circle that I put together, but it was a circle that was handpicked for me. Because what I also realized, being accountable, is that, and this kind of goes to this area of categories, right? What I had to realize is, you meeting people, April, in a space where they're wounded, going through divorces, evictions, this, that, and the third. And this is not to slight anybody, because I'm sure we've all been there and done that in some shape, form, or fashion capacity. However, if you keep surrounding yourself with women in broken marriages, what more do you think you're going to get out of that circle? You keep surrounding yourself with everybody that has financial instabilities. What you expect? You surround yourself with insecure people. What you expect?
Right.
So it's almost like, do you want to be dependent upon? Uh-oh. Don't do that to me, Raven. Don't do that to me. Don't have me self-examine like that. It's like, is this what you want? I think you want to be dependent on. I think you want to be needed. That's that April conversation. You want to be needed. You want somebody to be able to call you for help. That's what you want. Because if that ain't what you want, you will keep putting yourself in those circles.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking about real big girl draws on conversation. Like, dang, do I want that? Because I realized, I mean, it even got to a point in my life where I realized every married woman in my life, divorce was on the rocks. It's like, why am I in the heart of this relationship with these people? Like, that don't even match where I'm at. Like, at some point, this stuff
Right.
probably gonna start projecting, you know what I'm saying? And so I realized that, again, I outplayed my season. I wasn't supposed to be there that long. I was supposed to plant, let somebody else water, let somebody else get an increase. But I want to plant, water, increase, plant, water, increase. And I find myself going from one box of traumatic experience of women to another box of, and so I had to realize, I think that's what you want, April. I think that's what you want. I'm gonna take it even deeper because I'm about transparency live and that. I'm the last of 9 children. I have there's 6 females in my family that are considered sisters, and I don't have relationships with any of them.
Mm.
And so what I had to realize, this is probably just 4 years ago, like you know what I'm saying, like this kind of fresh, that you want them sisters in every woman that you meet. And that's why I'm so quick to draw people in and put them in the front row. That's how I want to take everybody with me, because to your point, Raven, I'm not looking for friends, I'm looking for sisters.
Right.
I'm looking for the sisters I never had.
Same here.
And that's why it's so deep for me. And I'm so open and I'm so giving. It's not just because I'm generous, Sabrina. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just because I'm nice to me. It's not just like I got a good spirit. I want to dwell in a space where I actually feel like I have sisters, because I never had that. Most of my sisters are 20, 30 years older than me. Mm-hmm. So just from a generational perspective, the dynamics of that has never really been real for me. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, I wouldn't even say I'm fully over that. But what I do realize that I have to be intentional on where I allow myself to be placed in my circle of friends. Because what I realized before we move on is that everybody's a reflection of me. I don't care if you're there because of your decisions and you're there because of your actions. If you close to me and I'm calling you friend or sister, in some shape or form, there's some type of reflect. And I got to figure that out. Right. I think I might have said that to you not so long ago, Tamika, trying to figure out, like, why was I so close to somebody like that? It's something in me that I'm ignoring. Because how did I get so close to somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that I realized was whatever, not to get too far into it. But I had to check myself. Is there something in you, April, to be so close to somebody with that type of character? Mm-hmm. You know, so I'm feeling something from you, Ray. What you thinking?
No, I'm just really listening. Okay. I didn't have anything to elaborate on that.
Okay. And so we talked about validation. We talked about status, statute, standard. We talked about survivor's remorse. What else did we touch on? We touched on reconciliation, or the lack of. We touched on cutting people off. How do we feel like, okay, so how well do you feel you are, Ray, when it comes down to putting people in categories? Like, do you understand that this person is only a person I can discuss these types of things with? This is this person can only come to my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, that person can only be around my grandkids. Do you do well with that? With putting friends in certain categories?
Yeah, and people help me with doing that by your energy that I'm getting from you. It's pretty easy. You help me to decide that.
No, they ain't that easy, right? They ain't that easy for me. Yeah. That is so deep, though. They actually show you. So they show you whether they VIP status. They show you whether they somebody that you can actually talk about intimate. Okay, yeah. I agree. Okay. I'm a quarterback. I told y'all. Go ahead, Tamika. What you think? You do well with that?
I do now. After going to therapy twice, I do now. I do a SWOT analysis on people, not on purpose. I don't sit down at the paper, the pen, or the Excel spreadsheet on my little chart and do it. But in my mind, I'm assessing what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are the opportunities, what are the threats that come along with you. What level can I trust you at? What can I call you for? What can you call me for? And I know that this person is a person for this, or a person for this, and this, and avoid at all costs. Do not do these things at all with this person. So I do that in employment, friendships, because I have been guilty of making people my all-purpose person, and no one is that. Even a spouse, no one is that.
I like that all-purpose person. Okay. Do you do well with that, Sabrina?
I think so. I think have gotten better at understanding people's capacity for certain things. I know not to over expect. Um, I don't expect me out of people. I understand and learn and observe the person for who they are and who they have the ability to be. And I meet them at that level. Like there are just certain things, like Tamika was saying, there are certain things I won't expect out of certain people. I won't put them in that position because you haven't shown me that, number one, you want to be in that position, that you have the ability to be in that position, or whatever your situation is, the capability just isn't there. And that's okay because you're a friend that is here. You're a friend that I can do this with. You're a friend that I can do that. But one thing I told somebody the other day is, and this kind of happened within my family. I'm never going to have a conversation with you and say, don't say this, or don't say that, or don't mention this, or don't mention that, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be, um, I'm going to respect our boundaries of communication, number one, and I am expecting that you respect our boundaries of communication. I have, even like on my friend group, I got two friends I got a chat group with, right? We chat, we text good morning every day or whatever. But my individual conversations with them are my individual conversations. I'm not going to share anything or slip up and say anything in a group chat that was meant for our private individual conversations. But ask me something and I'm going to say 10 toes down, this is what I said, because if it's going to leave my lips, I can stand behind anything that I said. So no one's ever going to be able to go to you and say, Sabrina said this, Sabrina said that. No one's ever going to be able to say, and I feel uncomfortable about sharing it, because if I shared it with you, I could care less who you say it to. If I don't want it shared or I don't want it said, I'm not going to overly trust you that much to keep a secret that I don't want to get out. That's why I don't tell people secrets or things that I need them to keep hold of, because I don't want to put that level of pressure on you, because you're going to mess around and F around and break my trust or whatever. And everybody and their grandmother I don't want to put that on you. So between my ears and God, or if it's pillow talk or whatever, but I won't put that level of weight on my friends not to keep something, because every friend got a friend. Every friend got a friend, and you don't know who friend is who with who. And I done met so many people that's friends with other friends that I don't know about. So if you just talk about my business and just casual conversation, innocent conversation, it got out there. But I'm not going to be mad because I didn't share anything with you that I couldn't stand on. That's only speaking facts. I ain't out here lying to nobody. I don't want to have to remember a lie. I don't want to do any of that. Right? I can't do it. It's too much pressure. Right?
So I hear capacity, right?
Truth.
It's understanding people's level of capacity. Okay, so I want to say this. Okay, so it's, I think because of where I'm at now versus where I've been repeatedly throughout life, quite frankly, it's so completely different. So we're still talking about categories. So at one point, putting people in categories, to your point, was easy. It was simple because everybody was so extremely different, and it was very clear where people were in life. And so there was just certain doors that would never open for certain people. You know, so like it's certain people that I would never talk about family with, or my kids with, or my finance. I mean, even investments. You know what I'm saying? Like it's certain people that I wouldn't even go to with celebration. We'll get back to that. So it was very clear at one point, because I think I was able to see so many people in so many different areas in their life versus mine. I think what makes it, and difficult is really not the word I want to use. I think what makes it different for me now is most people in my life, it's almost like they're not all in the same space, but I think they're all so healthy and mature that it's not really so many categories I had that exist. Does that make sense? Like I don't have a lot of different categories. At one point, I felt like I had to have all these different categories. Somebody I can bring to the house. Some people can never come to the house. Some people I can talk about my investments. Some people I can never. I don't feel like I have that pressure to figure out which door to close with this person, which door to open, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a very effortless space I'm in right now. No, there's no one that's my, how you put it, Tamika? That's my all purpose, right? It ain't nobody I'm talking to everything about, but the people in my life right now don't fall in all these weird, nothing weird and insensitive. They don't fall in all these different categories.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I think it's a very healthy, good space for me, because at times, okay, so there was a season in my life where I felt, okay, so I feel like I've lived 9 lives, first of all, right? In the streets, out the streets, you know what I'm saying? I had rapped underground, you know what I'm saying? I rapped in the church, I mixed. I feel like I lived 9 lives. And in living all these different lives, that comes with a lot of different relationships. I'm talking about 12 people at a time relationships, right? And so what I realized was happening that April didn't approve of, is that, okay, I'm not in the streets no more. Now I got to get church friends. Okay, I'm not in the church no more. I got to get, you know, so I feel like my circle was moving according to the levels in which I found myself, right? Mm-hmm. And so I found myself in this one particular space in life where I felt like, and this is not necessarily survivor's remorse. This is really more so a thing of, maybe I wasn't in a space where I had the capacity, Sabrina, to be a certain caliber of friend to those people at that time. Mm-hmm. So now that I'm mature, maybe I can actually be a better caliber of friend to them. You follow me, right. Raven? So it's almost like, and I'm gonna just be more specific instead of beating around this big, elephant in the room. At one point when I was a minister, I was extremely judgmental. I won't even slide it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about to check you on everything. Because I'm excited about my new life. And if I can stop doing this, you can. And if this is enjoyable for me, then you'll enjoy it. And so I was extremely judgmental off the break. Mm-hmm. I ain't about to, you know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna take 3 days for me to check you. And that wasn't appropriate. I'm just being honest to where I was at, right? I was in a certain space where I feel like I had the rule book to how you should be living your life, and what you're doing is wrong, what I'm doing is right. And so, as I started evolving and maturing, I started realizing, like, at the end of the day, like, whose sin is bigger than the other? Like, what we talking about? Mm-hmm. But I wasn't there then. So I felt a bit of regret. It wasn't survivor's remorse, Tamika. It was me regretting not being a certain type of friend to certain people because I was immature and where I was. I thought I was so spiritually sound and holier than thou. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't realize I was a very immature friend at that time. So what I did, Sabrina, was I said, you know what? I don't have to demonize anyone. I don't have to check anybody, Raven. I'm going to be the light. Yeah. I'm going to show them that you can have fun and not be drunk. I'm going to show them that you can go to the go-go and not, you know what I'm saying, say all of that. I'm going to show them that you can be better without saying it. That was real for me. And so in doing that, it was working. I was like, so you ain't got to always say nothing. Just shut up and just be you. You know what I'm saying? Let your light shine. And so in doing that, in that phase, I realized that, man, there's a way of being an example without having to be this critical teacher. I'm an Aries, so I'm fire. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that I was trying to put out my fire. I was just trying to make more balance and make sure that I'm not a certain person, which was this judgmental person. Okay? I'm almost done with the story. And so, but then what I realized was, yeah, you could be an example, but you can't change people's perspective. You can't change their mind. You can't change their heart. You know what I'm saying? You could probably change their perspective of you and how they view you, but that don't mean you about to change their lifestyle. And to me, I thought that was the ultimate goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, to ultimately change the lifestyle. And so I realized, okay, that's not working. Okay, yeah, no, that's too toxic. I don't do that. And so not speaking it, but just my spirit is becoming more very, very sensitive. So I'm picking up and feeling everything that I didn't feel the first 2 years into it, if y'all follow me. So I'm feeling everything, and I'm realizing, season up, sis, that you did your part, gone. You ain't gonna do no more. You know what I'm saying? You keep trying, it's gonna be ineffective. You're gonna end up on the back end of this thing. And because I'm an overstayer and I'm a quarterback, I ended up on the back end of that thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, and I clearly express that to say that a lot of times we got to understand what it really is we're going through. Because in hindsight, I'd have thought it was survivor's remorse, but that actually wasn't what that was. It was me trying to be a better friend. You know what I'm saying? It was me trying to be more open-minded. It was me trying to make a shift thinking that, well, if I come from a different angle, maybe this can be received differently. Anybody had an experience, maybe not just like mine, but experience where maybe you realize you could be a better friend now because you're not traumatized or you're not stressed, you're not financially strapped? Because all that could change, you know, how you treat other people based on where you are in life.
Yeah, I mean, there's always room for improvement. Yeah, I feel like that. I feel that sometimes that I could have been a better friend sometimes if I wasn't going through my grief when I was going through that with losing like loved ones, passing on. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Anybody else experienced that shift where they realize, we can talk about everybody not being good friends to us, but they realize that they could have done better in a relationship, and you try to go back and to try to mend that or do something different.
I realized I had an issue with accepting people for who they are and where they were in life. And like you, thinking I could be the example, I could come alongside, I could help, I could help. And yeah, I didn't accept them. So looking back at some things, I could have been okay with their stuff, and handle things better for sure. Um, but I wouldn't go back to that person's situation, whatever, and try again from this space. I feel like that had a purpose. And,
Mm-hmm.
if it's supposed to come back, it will, but I'm not going to go looking for it.
Mm-hmm.
You
What
know,
about you?
that's another thing with friends too. Sometimes you can be going through stuff, but they so used to you being that crutch for them that they just overlook what you're going through
Mm-hmm.
and just condemn you because you're going through something. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
what's wrong with her? Never even to check on you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a really really good part, and so I think it's a really good point, and it's a good part to stay in for a minute. Let's rest there because, correct me if I'm wrong, Sabrina, but you can be in a certain space and it's not all dark and gloomy. People think going through is all about being dark and gloomy. I had a friend of mine that just couldn't understand for the life of her
Don't do
that
that.
just because we were doing so well financially that we weren't going through anything. I'm trying to, like, this is a lot. You know, it's like entrepreneurship is not easy. But girl, you good. Like, because it wasn't a financial struggle and because the merge was on rock, like they couldn't understand my going through because it wasn't traumatic and dark and gloomy. As opposed to checking up on me where I was in my going through. To Raven's point, she couldn't even see it as a going through. She just kept blowing up like, girl, please, I wish I had 12 property. Girl, please, I wish I had. You know, this is like, and I'm stressed. You know what I'm saying? I'm like stressed out with issues and properties and people not paying rent. And she could not sympathize with my going through.
That was a
So
person
you,
I was. That was a friend I was. I had a lot of the things that I had way before all of my friends, all of my circle. I was the first to have a house. I was the first to do this, the first to do that. So they thought that everything was always gravy and golden. So I didn't ever need anybody to check up on me. Even when my parents passed, one passed and the other passed, and things like that, I never expressed or I never gave off the woe is me or I'm going through a situation. So people always thought that everything was always all good. But that's just because I didn't share, because I guess maybe everyone was dumping all their stuff on me. It just was like, you know what? I already know they're going through a whole lot. So I'm not even going to communicate how I'm feeling right now or whatever. I'm just going to deal with this in turn. Like the trauma, I'm just going to deal with this on my own. It's just going to be between me and God. So I didn't expect them to be there for me in that capacity because I was always the one that was there for them. Did it get exhausting? Man, sometimes, but because I guess my personality just didn't allow me to I never was resentful of the fact that people didn't check on me like I checked on them. I just felt like this is just the type of person I am, and they just don't have it in them. So I'm not going to be mad that they're not checking because I'm okay. Honestly, I'm okay. Nothing is as bad as it seems is always the way that I think about things. So everything always ends up turning around, through prayer and all those things. So I never wallow in things that I go through. And that's, I guess, why people really don't see me going through the go through a lot of times, unless they're very, very close to me, because some people know that I suffer with a little bit of anxiety. I don't talk about depression. I just focus on the anxiety. I never say I'm depressed, but those are the only people, probably two people in my life that know that I suffer from extreme anxiety. But people on the outside will never know it because I don't show it. It's just when I'm in here, I'm in these four walls, is when it reveals itself a lot of times. And I recognize when it's rearing its ugly head. It's like 3 times a year it happens. And it's been like that probably for the last maybe 5 years or something like that, that I've been able to recognize and pinpoint that that is happening in as a part of my life. And I just am able to manage and control it.
What's your take on that, Tamika? What you gonna say, Raymond?
No, I was going to say that's how people think that I don't go through anything. Listen, guys, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I go through things, okay?
Like, just so you know.
They clip that up. Make sure they hear that part, April.
In that.
That's true. That's true. And before you jump into me, and that's why I'm so grateful for the space I'm in and the friends I've drawn close to and have drawn close to me, because I realized that I didn't even. It took the relationship to become a past tense for me to realize. Because first I would bring it up and that to go to her for it. But it's just, I'm in the midst of it and I'm on the phone like, look, I got to call you back. I got to call this. And so it's really coming out just in conversation. I'm not necessarily going to her to vent. But I realized once the relationship became a past tense relationship that, to your point, she didn't have the capacity to understand what I was going through. So, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't, even though I was frustrated with the fact that she couldn't empathize with it, the big picture was she didn't really have the capacity to even understand what I was going through. So now that I actually have friends of mine, I can actually call and talk about this investment ain't working out. You know what I'm saying? It don't sound like I'm bragging. You know what I'm saying? It don't sound like I'm trying to show off. It sounds like I am stressing out over the investment that's not working out, because she's probably stressed out an investment that's not working out. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I just love being able to have friends that I can actually, like I said, it's not 1,000 categories. And I don't have to feel like I gotta, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna let you go to it. I knew at several points, I'm talking about all throughout life, from the streets to the church to the rapping, that there's certain people I could not talk about the great things that was going on in my marriage with. I couldn't. Already knew what it was going to do to them. Already knew. You know what I'm saying? Their marriage jacked up, ain't no sense we talking about no goodness going on. You know what I'm saying? Their financial jacked, ain't no sense we talking about no financial stability. And so I found myself muzzling great experiences with people that were benefiting from me greatly. Wow. Because I knew that my excitement for elevation would not have been well received. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, Tamika. I know you're probably sitting on 5 points over there.
I mean, the beneficial thing popped up, but yes, I can relate 100% just because of the appearance of a thing. But you left your ex-husband, you left everything behind, you started your life over, in 4 or 5 months. New place, new car, new wardrobe, lost weight, changed appearance. You're good. That's work.
Yes.
I left everything. I had to rebuild, I had to rebrand myself while still going to work, starting a new job, lost a mother. All these things are happening, but because I'm showing up a certain way, you think everything is fine. Sit down for a second and unpack that. I'm carrying a lot, I'm just not showing it.
Yeah.
So it's important for me to have good, grounded people that can hold space, that can, you don't have to relate. Can you hold space? Can you hear me? Can you understand what I'm saying, regardless of how I look? Close your eyes and open your ears and heart. Hear me, feel me. Can you do that? If not, you have no place here.
That's good.
That's so good. That's so good. Yeah. And you said you don't have to relate. You don't have to get it. You don't have to be where I'm at. But love me enough to just hear what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a moment to vent or release or whatever it is I need at that time. But Sabrina said it. Some people don't have the capacity for that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There was. I just got to keep bragging about my circle. I just got to keep bragging. And so there was one point, and I'm gonna come to you for something, Raven, where I don't care which one of the 12 or 5 or 6 or 8, how many people was in my circle would call. It never started off by how you was doing. It was never, hey, what's your how the family? That the conversation never starts or ends with that. Girl, oh my God. Oh, yeah, we 2 hours in. Anybody that talk to me, no, we ain't no 20-minute conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we 2 hours, might be 3 hours in, and it never ever would shift. But so what's going on with you? So that space was never allotted. You know what I'm saying? Like that time, it was almost like there was no, I wouldn't even really call this part capacity. It just was not a care for where I was, whether I was up or down.
Right.
I'm calling you about me and my problems. You know what I'm saying? And now I got a circle of people. They get theirs out and say, okay, well, what about you? You get yours. And so we both get an hour. That's never happened. I ain't saying never in my life with no human being. You get my point. Based on my circle of friends continuously, it wasn't, the reciprocating just wasn't there. And I don't care what a friend of mine today call about, they never take all the time for themselves. They all, and I could have mentioned nothing. Again, I didn't even express the up or down, but they're so mature and understand that what makes a healthy, balanced relationship is being there for someone the same way they're there for you. Not in the same exact capacity, we ain't saying that, but at least understand that, okay, if you care enough to hear my story and how my day was, let me just be mindful enough to hear how your day was. And it is so super refreshing. Like you have no idea. And so, Raven, let me ask you this, because I feel what I'm getting from you is it's such a, and already I always know this about you, right? It's such a neutralness about you, right? And it's almost like we ain't tipping the scale, we ain't going left, right, we staying right here. You know what I'm saying? And so what type of work have you done to maintain being neutral regardless of what capacity you may be around in terms of friends? Whether someone's lacking capacity or have it. Like whether someone's pouring in you or just taking. What keeps you neutral? Because I feel like me and Sabrina kind of got a little high hair edge about us when it comes to friends to some degree. I kind of feel like me and Tamika got this little, yeah, okay, but see me type of thing. But you kind of like, at the end of the day, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you maintain that? Like, what type of work have you done to maintain that? Like, I feel like I know it, but I kind of want to hear it. And I want them to hear it and the viewers as well.
Inner work within, because again, as I stated a little earlier, I don't need anything outside of myself, so I don't expect anything from anyone. I mean, if you do, then I appreciate it, but expecting it, I'm not. I'm only expecting from myself. So
how do you realistically not expect something from someone you love?
From I would say from living life and the journey that I've been on, I've learned expecting things that will just get your feelings hurt. So at some point I decided I'm not going to expect anything. I just, whatever you give me, then I appreciate it. Which is why I do the inner work within myself, so that I'm a cover Raven at all angles, so that I don't need anything outside of me.
Outside of yourself. That's deep. I feel like I'm really big on accountability, self-examination. Like, I feel like I'm always in the furnace, like always. And I'm putting myself there. I ain't thrown there or forced there. And sometimes, as much as I say I don't, I do expect. I be lying a lot. Try to kick her off. Don't do that. I think that and I probably all are guilty of it. I don't know how guilty Raven necessarily. But I think we all say, well, I don't expect. I don't expect. But I think we do. And I think I might have bought into the idea that we should. It's okay to expect. Your camera's out, but I think we can still hear your sound.
My camera's out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can see you all.
Maybe somebody tried to call.
No.
Oh, maybe a call came through
Some
and kicked
text
you out.
or something.
I thought that was going to help, but it still didn't help. Your camera's still off. So what you think? I think this is a good place to wind this thing down. Expectations. Mm-mm. Like, where are you? Because Raven's saying, I don't have no expectations.
I'm with Raven.
You with Raven? Okay,
I'm with Raven. I don't.
How bad?
Your camera's not. It's completely dark.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I can see it. Can y'all can
Like I'm even able. I should be able to like have your camera on, and it's showing that your front camera should be on, but it's not. So how do you feel about the expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Raven. I don't have, and it's again, it's growth, it's self work. I've read a lot of books and things like that, and I've just learned to relieve people of that expectation that some of them could never possibly meet, because that protects me, that protects my spirit. Oops.
Go ahead.
That definitely protects me from being able to be hurt to that capacity. No one can instill trauma on me from any relationship situations, even in male female relationships. Like I've began to handle those a lot differently, and it puts me in a happy place to where I'm always going to be Sabrina. No matter what you do, I don't have control over what you do. I just have control over Sabrina. All I'm telling you is be true to yourself, because if you can't be true to yourself, there's no way that you can be true to me, right? There's no way that that's even possible. So be true to yourself. And I tell people all the time, I don't ask questions I don't want the answers to. So trust and believe. We're not going back and forth about anything. I'm not asking anything to be curious. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's male friends, female friends, or whatever. I'm protecting myself at all costs, and I'm not expecting anything from anybody that I wouldn't expect to be able to deliver to them. So none of that extra stuff. I'm just accountable for Sabrina. And that's just how I've been over these last probably these last few months. I think I've been able to operate in a different space with people. And that just has allowed me to be more, maybe a little bit more nonchalant, a little bit more carefree. But for me, that works because it's less stress, less tension, less of that expectation that I have on people to deliver when they don't either have the desire to deliver or the capacity to deliver.
Okay, I gotta say this. So if there's no expectation, because I want my perspective shift, because I've often spoke about it confidently, and I don't know how much I really believed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just want to just say it for a minute before we end, because it's a few more points. And so, if there's no expectation, okay, you and I. Okay, she's gonna power off power. So you don't have absolutely not one expectation for me.
I expect April to be April.
Okay.
Whatever April can
So
deliver,
that's
that's
kind
what
of my point. So that is
April
an
can deliver.
expectation, though, right? So okay, so maybe we're miseducated
Maybe.
on expectation. Maybe it's the language, Tamika.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe it's the language.
I was thinking
Because
that.
even if I'm expecting Sabrina to be Sabrina, I'm expecting Sabrina. You see what I'm saying? I'm expecting that. So if I am expecting that, that is an expectation. Right? Now maybe.
But think about this loyalty. So think about how people think of this certain level of loyalty, this certain level of safe space, a certain level about, like, I don't like, I'm not gonna put this. Some females have this certain girl code or this expectation of loyalty and things like that. People fall short every single day. I'm not going to have this elevated expectation of this loyalty that
Mhm.
you're not ever going to be able to deliver. Like
Mhm.
Jesus Christ felt like Jesus failed. God felt like, you know, at the end of the day, we're not perfect beings. And we
Mhm.
have to operate that way to know that your fellow man or woman, they're not operating in perfection. So we got to give
Mhm.
grace. So that's why for me personally, I'm not going to put this extra level of you need to be loyal. If I don't talk to this person, you don't talk to them. If I see you talking to somebody that I used to talk to 10 years ago, you're not loyal, all that. Like all that kind of stuff for me is totally out the window. There are certain things that I really could care less about.
Mhm.
So, and that's when I think of expectations. I think that we create some external and sometimes internal expectations of these friendships and relationships. And some of these expectations are never communicated. So the other
Mhm.
person
Mhm. Mhm.
has no clue that you feel like this or you're expecting that from them
Mhm.
on any degree or any level, but you expected me to follow this code or this something. Well, we never talked about anything like that.
Right.
So how can you hold me accountable, right?
Mhm.
You can't. So if April and Sabrina never had a conversation about something, I can't hold you to a certain expectation on
You
anything
shouldn't.
you and I
Mhm.
never had a conversation about.
So, and Tamika, you help me out because I know your brain is going over there. So, I think it's the language. I think there's additional expectations, specified expectations, but I do believe expectations exist. I just think that, and I would love for Raven to be on to correct me if I'm wrong in terms of her perspective, because if I'm expecting you to be you, Tamika, that's an expectation. I'm expecting you to be you. And so when you're not you, I'm disappointed because you're not you. Right? And what you thinking to me? Because that's kind of, and I hope I'm saying I'm nitpicking because I'm really just
No,
trying
no,
to,
no. That's
because
yeah.
at one point
It
I
makes
kind of
sense.
felt like I got like, I don't have no expectations, but I don't know if I really fully ever bought into that.
Uh, I'm the polar opposite. And it came up today in conversation. I have high expectations. And I think it's the language. Are expectations, my dog is right here. Are expectations and standards interchangeable?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What are your standards?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Standards
What
high.
are uh-huh. What are your
Mhm,
standards for yourself? What are your standards for your friends? What are your standards for your circle?
Mm-hmm.
Are your standards your expectations? If people are able to meet your standards, so they have access to you. So
mhm,
for me, I expect a lot because I give a lot. And I know if I'm giving
mhm,
a lot and I'm not getting it back, this isn't going to last long.
mhm,
You're going to move to a different layer of my circle, different level of access to my life, less and less and less, if not out the door. And I'm going to look at myself and say, what did I allow?
mhm.
Are my standards too low? Did I lower my expectations? So I have high expectations, and I think that's because of the amount of work I've done within myself.
Mm. Do I have high expectations? I don't think I have high expectations. I do know expectations exist. I don't think that I have specified expectations. Like, I don't think I can say, Tamika, I expect this from you, and I don't think I have a laundry list per
Mhm,
se. Like, I do expect um, what you've shown me, why I was drawn to you, right? How we vibe and what got us where we are now. I think I do expect that to be maintained, if nothing else, right? I think I do expect, I think I do expect you to protect my name in rooms I'm not in, right? I don't think that'll be an expectation I'll ever mention. To your point, it's an unspoken expectation.
mhm,
Like, you may never, I probably will never verbalize that. Maybe that's something that should be done going forward, right? But I do believe that in spite of where we are in our relationship, because we're very new, right? You and I, Sabrina, in our relationship. So regardless of what, I do think that if we're in certain rooms, somebody talking crazy, that don't meet up to what you know about me, I don't expect you to fight no battles for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't expect you to tie your head back and put some Vaseline on. But I do
mhm,
expect that based on what the climate is of the topic in the atmosphere, I do think I expect to be spoken well of, even if you got shit like, well, I know her to be.
Right.
Like, I do think there's a level. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I
People
think
to
what I'm
shut
trying to
stuff
say to
down
you, if you speak for yourself, I
calmly.
think I'm trying to say that maybe my expectations, I feel like, are obvious and unexpressed.
Mhm.
Nevertheless, I feel like they exist and should be honored.
Yeah,
I think
that's a good point.
I think that's kind of where I rest in it.
Yeah,
And
but I
even
do
those
think the
couple
difference
of
between the expectations and the standards, I think that there are, like, I do have very high standards for my friends. I have high standards for my friends and myself. I have high standards for relationship, but the expectations for me is still kind of like a shaky area because I know that people will end up falling short. So I'm not going to hold your feet to the fire with those things that we call expectations because I know, like I said, sometimes we have to exercise grace because I want you to, exercise grace with me. And sometimes it's just hard for people to exercise grace. That's why earlier in the conversation we talked about the cutoff. Well, everybody can't exercise grace, and some people don't deserve your grace. When that mercy hit. But
so what you think about them expectations, Tamika? Because I know you say you have high standards, you do have high expectations, but in terms of like the language, like how I just described, do you kind of feel like there's definitely, do you feel like us as mature women, in whatever level of maturity, we're all in different levels of maturity, like some things should be like a given. It's almost, I feel like some things should be unspoken.
yes, 100%. I'm sorry, were you finished?
No, I'm still just, yeah. Yeah, I think
I
that
didn't want
because
to
I'm
cut
really
you
trying
off.
to figure that out, but I really think that's what it is. I think there's some things that are like, it won't let her back in. Yeah, I think I'm set aside in that perspective of that. I think that because I think Raven said it earlier. I think it kind of goes back to how we kind of show people where to place us. And I think that we kind of know, like, I kind of feel like I know where I'm placed in your life, Sabrina. I feel like I know where I'm placed in your life, Tamika. And so I think by me knowing it, I know how to act accordingly. Like, I don't think I need your laundry list. I don't think I need you to verbalize it to me. Unless there's some pre-existing something, like you expressed something about anxiety, which I wasn't aware of, right? So to me, that's a good bit of information for me because now I know something to be mindful of. So that I'm fulfilling some unspoken expectation. You know what I'm saying? Because I do think, it could be condition based, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's. I want her to try one more time because we're done. We're gonna finish sentences, and she's like, "I think my time is up. I can't get back in." And that's why I wanted to be like this different dynamic of people because I think that we learn so much when we're in different spaces. And I think simply because we learn so much when we're in different spaces, it's helpful. We learn. We're beneficial to each other. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? By having a different perspective and not being afraid to try it. Has anybody got any points on something before we end with the finishing of these sentences?
Yeah, I would just say having high standards or high expectations doesn't mean a laundry list. You took the words out of my mouth, April, about the laundry list. It could be those two or three things. You're my friend. You can't talk about my friend to me. You can't do that. And when I talk to you and I tell you what happened, I'm going to tell you how I addressed it as well. That's part of the conversation. So it might be two or three things, and those three are high expectations. So I think it's just for me, if there's not a level of reciprocity, you can't be in the inner circle because that's what I require to sit at the table, to be part of my board of directors, to have, for me to give you access and for me to have access to you in that way. It's reciprocal on that end as well.
That is such a.
And I like how you said that inner circle because there are layers to the friendship. There are layers to the dynamic of the people who are very close to me, who I communicate with, who I'll share business with, who I'll share the good points with. Because, there are times like even right now where I pick and choose people who I will share the great things with, the good things that are happening in my life. And when I do share them, those people are genuine that says, you know what, I'm truly happy. Even like my ex-husband, I shared something with him yesterday. He's like, you know what, I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited that and it's just a new relationship or something like that. He's like, you know what, you deserve that. And who would have thought that my ex-husband is somebody that I treat like, like a good girlfriend or like a best friend. It's like, hey, let me talk to you about this. And he's like, you know what? Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm so excited. But there are a small number of people who I will share that level of excitement with, like the ones that's in the little group chat. They're the only ones that are receiving the good things. And we all can share the good, the bad, and the ugly, but I'm not going to share the good. And there's that outer circle where I'm
Right.
not going to share the good with all the time,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes that dotted line outer circle is not that circle that's really genuinely happy for you. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So it's understanding the dynamics of the people we are in relation with, right? That is super important to me, and I'm trying to grow and learn and absorb all that.
Okay, so let's go here. Let's end like this. Let's end like this. Okay, so now resolution.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Resolute too much. What happened?
She'll be right back.
It was getting good. Somebody
It
don't want to hear
was.
that. What's going on?
It's just that time, I guess.
Absolutely. It's like, okay, everybody getting cut off.
But she made a really good point. She is a connector. This has
Mhm.
been so beneficial.
Such a healing. Like, I definitely have, just hearing the different terminologies, the different viewpoints, and things like that. It has allowed me to begin to heal other aspects of places where I thought I had resolution. You know what I mean? That probably I still have trauma from or still have hurt behind. It's like, okay, let me think about it like this, or let me look at it that way. And maybe I can really come to grips with totally releasing some of these things that I probably still am holding on to.
Yes, I think, yes. Oh my goodness. I think sometimes we put things in place, these boundaries, these walls, these protection mechanisms in place so that we don't get hurt again. Is that
Mhm.
I'll cut you off because you've been hurt in that place you haven't healed. Or I do it this way because you've been hurt. It's all survival and protection.
Yep.
So, yeah, this has been good.
Yes.
Come on, April. I know she's on her way back.
Mm-mm.
And that song, I've been hearing it, they love you because you're beneficial or you beneficial. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of catchy. But when she broke it down tonight, I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Right. I didn't hear it that way before. And I'm like, oh, okay,
Mm-mm,
wait a minute.
not at all. There she is.
You can't make this stuff up. I'm gonna tell you
I
this
hope you didn't
technology
lose your
stuff. I'm
thought.
about done with
I hope you
It's
this.
didn't lose your
okay.
thought.
My do not disturb went off. That's the problem. I'm normally not on this long, and so my do not disturb went off, and so a call kicked me out, and now I can't get back on.
It's
This
okay.
technology is not okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And Raven says she's trying to get us flashing. Like, I don't, what does that mean, flashing? She's saying it's flashing. All
Mm-mm.
right. So what was I? It was some point I was trying to make we won't get
You
to.
were,
Okay.
and it was
So
hot. It was.
resolution, resolutions.
Mhm.
Should someone be in your inner circle that cannot genuinely be happy for you? Because I feel like it's got to be a possibility. I think we're trying to maintain friends with people that aren't friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the whole idea of categories, and I didn't plan this, okay? I think the whole idea of categories forces us to maintain
Mm,
relationships with people that aren't really friends of ours.
right.
Because Tamika said it earlier, even if you don't, maybe you don't invest. Maybe you've never invested. That shouldn't mean that you shouldn't have the capacity to hear about me talking about investments. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, just because you're not married doesn't mean that you shouldn't have the capacity to hear my heart if marriage is a part of the discussion. You see
Yep.
what I'm saying? So I think that in terms of resolution, and we're not here to force anybody to cut anybody off or anything, but I just think from a very mature standpoint, we have to really begin to monitor who's in our circle, inner and outer layer.
Mm-hmm.
Because if not, we're going to be on this whole category space, making room for people that shouldn't have room made for them.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we'll also be embarking on this whole idea of expectations and lowering and removing them, because we feel that I can't expect that from her. She got 5 kids. I can't expect that from her. She commutes, and it's like, okay, I'm not asking you to babysit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking you for 1,500. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking you for a $20,000 investment. I'm just asking you to just be a friend, not like me, but just a friend. And I think when we talk about expectations and categories, I don't know. I just got a shift in my spirit, right before I popped off, is that I think we're trying to maintain relationships that should no longer exist.
True.
I'm not here to be right. Y'all can totally disagree with me. That's just that's where I'm at with it. And and I think it saves us a lot of time, anxiety, you know what I'm saying, and difficulties, because, and I think that's why the space I'm in with friends, I think it exemplifies that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like I could talk about my investments with people in my circle that don't invest. I don't think it's something that they don't have the capacity, to
Right.
give me space and room to vent in or celebrate in. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I don't feel like anybody in my circle harbors any resentment or jealousy for me that I have to muzzle my excitement for success or joy in my family because of where they are. And I think that that's the circle that is the most beneficial for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like, nah, this shouldn't, it's starting to feel like rocket science. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be that deep.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be that deep. And I think we doing all this stuff trying to make people work that ain't supposed to be working.
Mm-hmm.
Because whether you're in a financial situation or not, if I'm celebrating about my finances, you should have the capacity and the love for me to celebrate with me for my season, knowing yours is coming.
Exactly. My bishop says that all the time. You need to be celebrating while I'm sitting here over here prophesying, and this person, we talking about their good things. Celebrate them because your next is coming. Celebrate
Yeah.
them. Be open enough to
Yeah.
celebrate that person because your next is on the way. If you ain't open enough to celebrate for them, then you might be blocking your blessing because your blessing might be attached to the celebration
Mm-hmm.
for that
Mm-hmm.
person's
Mm-hmm.
blessing.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm a personally, and my point, and I'll let y'all in y'all point, then we're gonna do a few finished sentences before something weird happens again. Um, and so yeah, I think that's April's resolution for friendship. I think that, and I don't want to repeat it all. I think it was pretty clear that it's not rocket science. We're not in high school. We're not 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I only said that because we're pretty still we're still wet behind the ears a little bit, trying to figure ourselves out. Go through a lot of trying to find ourselves. So I think that regardless of where we are financially, regardless of whether we're married, single, I don't think that should define whether we should be mature enough to pay attention to our circle enough to know whether it's fully beneficial to me.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean we all gotta make the same amount of money. That don't mean we all gotta, it don't mean none of that. It just means that, are you mature enough to handle my celebration when you're in your drought? Am I mature enough to handle your celebration? You know what I'm saying? When I'm in my drought. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that is my solution for friendships. What do you think, Tamika? What's yours?
That was good. First of all, that was good. um, my first thing is, do you add value? Um, I'm in a group and we talk about energy management often. Um, can you add or are you always taken away?
Mm,
If I look at my plate, my food plate of friends, how much space are you taking up and are you occupying a seat where I can
uh-uh.
have someone with a higher I don't want to say higher capacity, but a higher caliber person in that space. And that's not to say you weren't good enough, but what I'm saying is what I need right now, what I require from my friends right now, are you able to supply that? Still love you. We could still be friends, but you
Mhm,
might not be able to have this level of
mhm,
access to me in this season of my life. And then I
mhm,
also have to look at myself and say, why am I keeping you here when I know? Like
Mm-hmm.
something's going on there. Am I codependent on you? Am I looking for something from you that I should be getting from myself, from God, from someone else? Is there a void in my life?
Mm-hmm.
So adding value, reciprocal friendship, the energy management, and also like where are we going? I am definitely at a place in my life where I need people I can run with. If you're not running with me, I love you, but you can't sit in this inner. Like runners only. For now, it might change, it's
Mm-hmm.
things change over time, but for now, ambitious, driven, healing. I feel like that's indefinitely
Mm-hmm.
introspective people. That's my requirement. And also people that aren't trying to force their will and their way on me. Can you accept me? Regardless of where you are, can you accept how I am and be okay with that? But
Mm-hmm.
push me, but can you accept it?
Mm-hmm. That's good. What's your resolution, Sabrina? My resolution is try the spirit by the spirit. Um, just doing a better job in recognizing and discerning some the spirits that some people have. Does that person talk more than they listen? Like I've been exposed to people who talk, 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 and drain, 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 and that's those type of people. They take more than they give at the end of the day because they're always pouring, 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 but you're really not pouring on anything that's beneficial to me. You're just dumping. And I have to make sure that I don't allow myself to continue to be a trash can for anyone. I can't make them think that it's okay for them to dump every single problem of the day or everything that they think about the person next door onto me because I don't care. I
Mm-hmm.
could care less. And I gotta, be stronger in that regard to make sure that I am more loving of myself, more trusting of my own decisions to make sure that I can protect that inner circle because everyone can't be a part of that inner core circle. You can have a dotted line on the outside depending on the level that you want to be able to put yourself in, but that small inner circle, I've definitely got to protect that because those are people who are basically my confidants, my comrades. Those are those type of people that
Mm-hmm.
I choose to entrust with different aspects of my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I just want to make sure that, people understand that I'm always going to be true to myself. And it just behooves them to learn and grow to be true to themselves because you can't rock with me. If you ain't done any personal work and you ain't ready to take a step back, then we can't be friends because I only connect to people who understand how to do self work. No judge. My friends always say everything that they've been through, I've probably been through it 10 times. So there's never any judgment. And I don't want to connect myself to anybody that's judgmental to people who they consider friends.
Right. Right.
That's just
Mm-hmm.
and that has been my experience that people sometimes can be so judgmental and put their viewpoints, whether negative, positive, whatever, on people. Like, don't put your viewpoints on me. You can express them, say them, but don't turn around and be like, oh, you're stupid because of this, you're stupid because of that. Why you on this and why you on that's well, but we're
Mm-hmm.
not in the same lane. We're not living the same
Mm-hmm.
life. That may have worked for you, but none of that is gonna work for me. You don't direct my path. God directs my path, right? At the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, God directs my path. And that's who I'm gonna be silent and take direction from. You can give your opinion all day long, but don't force yourself on me and don't
Right.
criticize instead of critiquing because it's one thing to
Mm-hmm.
critique
There's a
something and
difference.
or something, but never criticize
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know. Because people who are still dealing with traumas, like people don't know. When I was growing up, my mother was very, very critical, very, very critical. So when people are critical of me, it just ignites all those things because
Mm-hmm.
that then turns me back to, am I still less than? Am I still not enough? Is it still not?
Mm-hmm.
And I've, for me, think that I've grown past that because I've recognized where that issue came from for me. I realized that that's where it started, among other things. So it's like I got to be always true to myself and understand and recognize the things that sometimes people want to push down because sometimes people
Mm-hmm.
don't want to recognize the things that from their past that hurt them, that cause them to be the same the way that they are or respond or react to things that are happening in their life. You got to go back. history tells us what's going on, right?
Mhm.
We got to look back
Mhm.
at the history and the pattern to be able to understand where we go from here. So that's
Mhm.
really my take, and really continue to understand myself, continuing to grow, and just be more discerning of the people around me.
I think those are some really good points. And it's something I just like to do at the end of my lives. It's kind of catch people off guard, but I think it kind of really reveals what's really kind of in a person's heart. So I'm gonna start a few sentences, and we're done. I know I said an hour and 45 minutes. We 2 hours and 30 minutes into it. What do you want from me? We had technical issue. We should think we lost about 20 minutes in technical issues. But so listen, I'm gonna start a few sentences, and we're gonna finish them. Okay. So I'm going to, and it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a one word answer, like whatever you get from it. So I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to start with myself. Okay. Friendship heartbreaks taught me. Friendship heartbreaks taught me how to better protect myself. So Sabrina, friendship heartbreaks have taught you to.
Friendship heartbreaks have taught me to not be more available to people than they are available to me.
My form of protecting. Tamika, friendship heartbreaks taught you.
Friendship heartbreaks taught me the value of friendship, also known as for me sisterhood.
Mm, I love that. I would no longer tolerate. I would no longer tolerate opportunists. I think I entertain them too much. Yeah. Sabrina, you would no longer tolerate.
I will no longer tolerate projection of someone else's shortcomings onto me.
Mm, Tamika,
That was good.
will no longer tolerate.
I will no longer tolerate codependency.
Mm, some good stuff. Boy. Okay. Okay. I'm learning that not every woman is meant to. I'm learning that every woman is not meant to be in my circle. Yeah. And that's real for me. Sabrina.
I'm learning that every woman is not meant to go along for the ride.
Uh, I am learning that not every woman is allowed to, I hope I got that right, have access to my romantic relationships.
Mm, dang, we should have touched on that. I think we kind of touched on it. We tapped on it a little bit. We probably should have dwelled there a little longer. Hmm. Okay. Oh boy. If she could truly hear my heart, she would know. Hmm. If she could truly hear my heart, she would know that I didn't want to remove access I had to.
Let's see. If she could truly hear my heart, she would know that I had love for her, genuine love for her.
If she could truly hear my heart, she would know that it hurt more to end the friendship than it did to keep the friendship.
It's a deep boy. Now I know how the guests be feeling. Good God. I am no longer available for one-way relationships.
Hmm. Uh, I am no longer available for uh Misuse of boundaries. I think that I'm no longer available for the misuse of boundaries,
Hmm.
disrespect of boundaries. I think that's one for me.
I am no longer available for people that are only around for the benefits of me.
I echo that. I second that motion.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. I had to accept that. I had to accept that it was my lack of boundaries that allowed people to go as far as they went with me.
I had to accept that it was my need for validation that allowed me to remain in relationships that I had no business.
Mm,
I had to accept that I've always had a choice.
mm. Ain't that something? I feel like we healing right now. Okay. Okay. Going no contact felt like hmm. Going no contact felt like betrayal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Going no contact felt like freedom.
So you took one of my two words. That's good. That's good. Oh, going no contact felt like freedom and a burden.
Mm,
Mm. That's good.
mm, that's so good. All right, y'all. We ain't trying to go to tears now. Okay. Okay. Um, After it ended, I questioned whether I was being too critical.
After it ended, I questioned whether I was disloyal.
Mm,
Mm. After it ended, I questioned if I was judgmental and weak.
mm,
Mm.
mm. Like this is the moment we've been waiting for. Okay. Mm, I replayed that conversation because, hmm, I replayed that conversation because I want to make sure I didn't misunderstand her. I want to make sure I was clear that I heard what I heard. I think that's what I'll say. I replayed that conversation because,
I believe I replayed that conversation because I didn't expect it to go the way that it went. I was still in denial. I replayed that conversation because I was still in denial on how that conversation played out.
mm,
I replay that conversation because it's an epiphany I wish I could force her to have.
mm, dang, I don't feel like I want to stop. Oh. Let's see. I forgave him for, but I couldn't forgive her for. Hmm. I forgave him for, but I couldn't forgive her for.
Mm.
Um, I forgave him for hurting me, but I couldn't forgive her for hurting me.
Who's me?
You can go to me.
I actually don't have one for this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I forgive both.
Good for you.
Let me see. I
You need me to read it again? You got it?
don't think I have one for that one. I forgave
Okay.
him for, so maybe it's I forgave him or could forgive him for trying to slander my name, but could never forgive her for attempting to slander my name.
Mm. Wow. Mm. I really don't want to end. I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm like, it's the best one.
Like one more.
Let's see. There's somebody in front of me. I wish she understood that she was not a friend of mine. I was a
wish
friend
she,
of hers.
wow. I wish she understood that it took me a while to see her for who she was.
Mm.
Oh, I wish she understood that when she unconsciously hurts herself, it hurts me too.
Mm. Mm. Okay, one more because I'm gonna keep going. I want to end with a big one. Let's see. I got like 20 more in front of me, so I'm sorry. Did I already say this one? I kind of feel like it's close to something I've already said. Her betrayal made me question the entire relationship. Yeah, her betrayal made me question the entire relationship. Yeah.
Her betrayal made me question her value for the friendship.
Her betrayal made me question my self-worth.
Mm. Mm. I think that I hope this was helpful to sisters that joined us and for those that will see this later. I hope this is helpful. I hope there was some resolution, right? I hope there was some pointers given that can be put into action so we could be better friends and choose our friends wiser, right? I hope this keeps the conversation going.
Absolutely.
I think that I asked you a question recently, Tamika, and this was something that I had to add to my repertoire when it comes down to friendships. I asked you, what are your boundaries, right? Did I ask you that?
Good.
And I think that because we said it earlier, Sabrina, right? There's a lot of unspokenness going on, right? I think there's a lot of things we feel like we don't need to talk about. You should know. And I also think there's some things that we bring into other relationships that wasn't really useful, helpful, or healthy. We just go about it like we go about any other relationship. And so I think that I hope that this sparks other conversations within circles that could potentially mend some things before they're broken.
Right.
right? I really hope that we can evolve and mature in the space as women where we can realize there are some things I never asked her to understand her better, right? There are some things that I never questioned that could have helped, that could have kept us from getting where we got, right? And so I'm really
Mhm.
hoping that it keeps the conversation going. I hope that it helps us in our circle of friends. I hope it mature us, and I hope it helps hold us accountable, because a lot of this is our doing,
Mhm.
and regardless of how unfriendly or how unloving or betrayal that, whether they betrayed us or whatever the case, a lot of times we've done things, even I'm talking about even from the bare minimum of just not protecting ourselves and not speaking up, right? I think there's still a sense of accountability that I pray that we continue to evolve and to become, because it's a journey. We're never going to reach the height of mastering a sister circle where there's never going to be an issue, right? And so I just really hope this was not just a conversation. I hope a lot of what we share can become tools that people could, use for their relationships, um, existing ones, and preparing for new relationships, right? So I thank everybody for joining us. I thank you guys for your participation. Thank you so much, Raven. I hate that you dropped out and couldn't get back in. This was a technical difficulty type of night, and I was adamant, you guys were adamant that we were going to make it work. Each and every Tuesday, let's talk about April, typically at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I end by saying anybody look for any real estate investment properties in DC, Maryland, Virginia, Florida, or Georgia, you can reach out to me. That's Davis Development Group. Anybody look for any rental properties for lease, furnished, unfurnished, short term or long term, that's Air DDG. You can reach out to me. If there's anyone look for any electrical service, whether it's residential or commercial, that's Sendell Systems. You can reach out to me. Look for any athletic apparel. My 17-year-old son has a brand, Be Empowered. CEO_B Clothing. Thank you all. I appreciate you, ladies. I love you guys.
You love you
Peace.
too.
Have a good evening.